What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense or Mims. We're back for this goddamn book. But you guys are liking it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Before we get started, there's a couple things. First off, I want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to me. I reached 2,000 subs last night, and you all do not know how much that meant to me. Because as you know, a couple times I was ready to quit YouTube. So the fact that I've reached 2,000 subs, I am so thankful. We're gonna start doing housekeeping early. Please hit the like button, and subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure to hit that bell button so you know when I go live. Because I'm gonna start doing a little bit more on YouTube, shorter lives about things that interest me. So we already started taking on the Tasha K. Cardi B case. I want to kind of do a deep dive into the Britney Spears next. So that's coming. As you know, I've started opening up a little bit more about what's going on with me personally. I lost one of my aunts a couple days ago, and that kind of pushed back my birthday party, which was going to be Tuesday. So I'm going to be celebrating my birthday next weekend with some of my YouTube buddies, and we're just going to have a good time. We're going to talk, do some crazy shit. I don't know. But that's definitely happening next weekend. Now to this book. So I am going to have to issue a trigger warning a little bit later because Porsha alleges something. And just like when she alleged the assault, she doesn't actually tell us what happened. So when we get to that part, I'm going to definitely give you guys a little bit of a trigger warning because I don't know. I always believe the victim, but I will say it's a little bit hard that she alleges these things without actually putting it out there. Let's see. So remember, guys, hit the like button. A little bit later, I'm going to be dropping the link. This is going to be a subscriber reading. So subscribers will be able to call in probably midway through, give their opinions as I read. And let's get started. Girl, no, never. Definitely not. Real Housewives is not for me. So you wouldn't be on that show? My friend Nikki, who just so happened to be friends with a couple of the people who produced the reality show, pressed. Now, if you're not watching Tisa Tales did an interview with the girl that she beat up in the alleyway. And we're thinking that this is actually Nikki. So, no, I don't know what I do in those situations with those girls. That drama is crazy, I repeated. Well, I already kind of sent your information to some of the producers. What? I screamed a bit too loudly, not believing what I had just heard. Yeah, I told them about you and how you're native of Atlanta, about your grandpa, about you and Cordell being newlyweds, and your philosophy on marriage. And they love who you are and want to talk to you. I didn't know how to feel. Could I really go through with this? I knew about this show. I was a fan of the show. I knew what this show did for women, either making or breaking them. Honestly, when Nikki first asked me about doing a reality show, I told her there was no way I was signing up for that. I wanted to be an entertainer, like a singer or an actress. I knew I had gifts stirring inside me, waiting for the right time and opportunity to be left out. Boy, yeah, Porsha has gifts, y'all. I just didn't see a reality show as part of my plan. Sorry, first things first. I want to send a special shout out to Mama Diane. She turned 64 today. So what I can say about Diane is Diane was bad. And she's still a beautiful woman, present day. Now, some of this is with the help of Dr. Curve and a little filter, but she's still a gorgeous lady. And even though I give Porsha hell all the time, beautiful black woman is a beautiful black woman, and at 64 she's banging. But back in the day, damn, and we'll just leave it at that. I had been going back and forth trying to distill if this reality show business was a real thing. Although I still wasn't sure, I just decided to grab the opportunity. I mean, okay, I'll talk to them. Nikki immediately called one of the producers for The Real Housewives to introduce me. The next thing I knew, I was listening to the producers trying to convince me to film. Film what? I thought to myself. I had no idea what people did to create a reality TV show. But from what I gathered from watching Bravo every Sunday night, it seemed like a whole lot of fun with a dash of drama on the side. The producer must have sensed my hesitation, so he offered, well, actually, do you have anything coming up, an event or something? Well, I was thinking about planning an event for my family's charity, Hosea Feed the Hungry and Homeless, at my grandfather's house. Oh, that'll be great. Do you mind if we come and set the cameras up? Now, I do want to say this. If Nikki is actually the girl that got dragged in that alleyway, and she is the one that steered Porsha towards the trajectory of being on the show, that's messed up. Because who knows? Porsha would have still been in that deadbeat marriage had this woman not put her in front of these producers. So it's another situation where while Porsha likes you, you're the best thing, and then she might attack you in the alleyway. Okay, I don't know because it's a charity event. I'm not really sure. What would you expect me to do? We're just going to bring some cameras to your charity event and show the reality. We won't even tell you what to do or to say anything. We're just going to set up cameras. Well, great, I thought. This is a great opportunity. I can kill two birds with one stone. I can put my family's charity on this great platform, and I can also show what a real young Black marriage looks like and put out that positive image on the show. A running theme, image. Image is very important to Porsha, and we will see that. Instead, my goal was to bring this beautiful, positive Black family to a small screen and let people into our world. Again, at this point, we know that her and Cordell have already broken up, and they got back together around this time. Also, if Cordell was this controlling, why aren't we seeing her talk to Cordell about this before agreeing to do the show? Is it just me, or does it seem a little strange? She has purported that this man is the most controlling person in and around her life. She already at this point has given up most of her family. She says her family isn't even allowed at that 20,000 square foot house. So it is strange that she's talking behind the scenes to this Brandy chick to get on the show. So the cameras came with the catch, though. We're so excited about your event, and we want another new cast member to come, a producer who had just a few days before the fundraiser said. Oh my God, that would be major, I said. Now I was excited. I had watched this show every Sunday night. Now they wanted me, Porsha Stewart, to film, and I'd be filming with the Black Beauty pageant winner. To me, my new castmate was the ultimate Black representation for little brown girls who look like me. Again, Porsha didn't think that she looked like a little brown girl. Porsha thought that she looked exotic because of her weave and her baby hair. So, but I can see why, because my sister knew who Kenya was. Kenya was a big deal in the 90s. I was very excited to meet her, but I was also super nervous, especially since cameras would be rolling. At the lunch, I tried very hard to get to know her. I asked her how long she'd been in Atlanta, what was she doing here, where was she living, what did she do in her free time. We were going to spend time together. Looking back at that lunch, I'm sure I was a bit annoying. Yes, that sounds annoying if you're just throwing out all these goddamn questions at this woman. Almost like the little sister who didn't know what to say. Still, I had the best intentions of trying to forge a friendship with her. Now, that part I agree with. I do think that she probably was just trying too hard. And for a woman like Kenya, who is very smart, that probably got on her nerves. But when we met a second time, a simple slip of the tongue would get our burgeoning friendship off to a rocky start. I didn't realize that by the end of my charity event, I'd walked down to the end of my grandfather's driveway in East Lake, trying to convince this woman to come back inside and failing miserably. Despite my best efforts, I didn't even realize I had cut her so deeply until she stormed out of my grandfather's home. Now, she will not mention Kenya's name in this book. She calls her that woman. She calls her my castmate. She calls her beauty queen. And she also doesn't really tell us what she said to Kenya, because if y'all remember correctly, after she was fighting Kenya, she told her that she was garbage and to stay on the curb where she belonged with the trash. But okay. Luckily, Cordell had already left the charity event by that point, because if he knew what had happened, he would have shut it down. It had already taken some convincing for my then husband who desperately valued his privacy, to warm to the idea of opening our young marriage up to the world. In fact, his 2 words when I told him that the Real Housewives camera were coming to film the event were, "Oh no." He went on, "That show is crazy. Listen, 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 Cordell. We have a great opportunity," I said, cutting me off and starting my spiel. "I'm a quintessential housewife and you're an ex-athlete. It'll be a great way to show off our beautiful life and how you pivoted into having a thriving TV career." Sorry, she said, "Your beautiful life." So again, the running theme is that Porsha is all about image. She said that her marriage was horrible, but she's saying that his life was beautiful. Okay. I continued, hinting at his ESPN gig, where he was a sports commentator at the time. "Look at us, we're married, we're raising a young black son. We can be that young blended family, showing how you can be successful and grow together." I told him after the fateful phone call with the producers, "This is what the world needs to see. We can show that we're a power couple." Although we both knew that our marriage was having issues, so many issues, we were used to pretending that everything was all right. I think they were both pretending that they're not bisexual, but okay. With the issues we were having, I knew I needed a life outside of our marriage. He wasn't allowing me to work. Even charity events counted towards work in his mind. He just wanted me to take care of him and his son. At first, I wanted that life, but when I realized I didn't have any of my own money, I knew I needed something for myself. I wanted to show our young black family to America, but I also knew I needed something of my own as a young black woman. I wasn't worried about bringing our marriage to reality TV, and thankful for me, he wasn't either. And to kick it off, I'm going to do a charity event. All right, I love that. I love that. That sounds cool, he said, warming up to the idea, especially when it came with crafting the picture perfect narrative. Again, it's not real. The marriage isn't real. Every time that she's talking about him, anything that she says is image, 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 picture perfect, beautiful life. Like nothing is authentic with this chick. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. Sorry, guys, I'm not really looking so much at the comments yet because they're moving pretty fast for me. I'm going to drop the link. I think I saw Cotty in here. Definitely come up, Cotty. So this is good. "When I needed him this time, Cordell was there for me. He didn't say a word when I shelled out $60,000 to plan a last-minute charity event. I had rented a white tent and beautiful furniture hold a catered dinner, complete with uplighting, place settings, centerpieces, and gifts, where we'd be serenaded by a band." He shelled out $60,000 for this girl. Again, $170,000 for her failing business, and she's still just complaining about Cordell. Before I left our house, wearing a strappy gold dress with my hair swept up. Before I left our house, wearing a strappy gold dress with our hair swept up, Cordell even gave me a pep talk when he sensed I was a bit nervous. He asked me, "Baby, do you have everything you need? I want this to be your moment, so I'm not going to be there tonight. I want you and your girls to just enjoy the night. I hope you raise a lot of money." After all that we had been through recently with losing the baby, his support meant the world to me. It felt like we were finally back on the same wavelength after feeling out of sorts for weeks. Perhaps this would be the shared vision we needed to keep our relationship intact. So she bet on the reality show to keep her marriage intact because that works out so well. Somebody said it's the fakery. I agree. Definitely the fakery. Let's see. Okay. By the time the cameras arrived, I thought to myself, this is fabulous. I was living in the moment and loving every second. The attendees, dressed in their cocktail attire, were filing in and sitting at the tables I had specially designed for the evening. 50 or so people from the production crew showed up to my grandfather's house, turning my ordinary charity event into one that was going to be streamed to millions of viewers. It changed the event in so many ways. There were cameras everywhere. It seemed in each corner of the room and some floating about. The crew had also installed additional lighting down the driveway and inside the actual tent where the dinner was being held. Although I had bought and paid for a band for the evening, we couldn't really play any music because it would have made it hard for editors to slice the scenes together later. Now, you spent $60,000 on this event and didn't have the mindset, the capacity to actually ask the producers of the show what was allowed. This is just another instance of this woman wasting Cordell's money. You bought and paid for a band that you couldn't use. Okay. It didn't feel like I was filming a reality TV show at all, which surprised me. In fact, the only thing producers told me before the event started was just go ahead with the night. There's nothing that we need you to do or say. We're just here to follow your reality. Even though I didn't have to do anything, I still felt really, really nervous because not only was I hosting an event in front of every woman that I cared about, but it was also in front of cameras. I was so careful about every blink, every walk, every hug, every smile. I wanted to be picture perfect. I told you guys it's the running theme. Not only was I not used to being the center of a camera, my friends and family weren't used to it either. But you were a video girl, so you were used to being in front of a camera. So there we were on our best behavior, trying to suck in, smile, and make sure the cameras caught our best angles. Somehow Cordell knew just what to do to make me look good for the show. He surprised me by popping up the event and presenting me with a custom cake and a gift, a black Chanel bag. Who goes to a charity event and presents somebody with a gift? That's how you know that shit was fugazi as fuck. Nobody does that. He didn't. Okay. If I remember correctly, at that event, Cordell presented the actual charity with a check for $200,000. But Porsha doesn't want the audience to know or remember that. All she talks about is a custom cake and a black Chanel bag. Is it just me? Am I crazy for wanting this woman to think? Wouldn't you be grateful that your grandpa's charity got $200,000 from your husband? Okay. This night meant to honor her and welcome her to Atlanta. I even had an award created for her. Standing in front of the band and the cameras, I made a speech to welcome the guests, sharing how important it was that as women, we gathered to raise money to pour back into our communities. I also wanted to use the opportunity to present the beauty queen with the award. It's really weird that she won't say Kenya's name. It's super weird. I just want to announce that we do have Miss America, I said to the women in attendance. It was a total Freudian slip. My castmates' immediate side-eye let me know I had gotten her title wrong. She was actually Miss USA. When I saw her face, I immediately said, I'm sorry, and continued on with the speech, hoping she would forgive the slip. Although I had moved on from my mistake pretty quickly to save face, in my mind, I was so embarrassed. I could have died that I messed up her title. I could have literally folded into myself like a roly-poly and just rolled behind the band. It's just that I was so nervous, I didn't know what was coming out of my mouth. Eventually, I sat down at the table we were sharing and apologized again, but then I realized, oh wow, she's not even accepting my apology. She really copped the whole attitude. Her entire energy had shifted, and for the rest of the night, she kept looking at her phone as if she wanted to leave. Eventually, she did in fact leave. I didn't know who else to turn to, so I pulled a member of production aside. I was frantic, trying to look like I had it together. While I loved the cameras initially for the platform they could provide for my charity event, now I wanted to smash all of them in a million pieces so they couldn't capture what was happening. Oh my God, what am I supposed to do? Let's cut cameras because this isn't going the way it's supposed to go. Now we see that this was 10 years ago. In present day, she tried to do the same thing when she tried to attack Mama Gina last week on her show. She wanted the cameras cut. Porsha continually goes to production to try to get them to cut the shit that she does and says. Oh, hold on. Let me drop the link one more time. I swear Cotty was in here. I think Cotty B was supposed to be coming up. So Deb, you're welcome too as well. What do you mean? We're here to film your reality. Go on and tell her what you want her to know. It still doesn't register to me that I was supposed to do what I was supposed to do while cameras were detailing my every move. So I asked, what do you mean? I want her to come back and sit down. Well, go tell her that, one crew member advised. But this wasn't supposed to go like this. This was my first time filming for the show, and it was turning into a horror show. How did I end up in such a misunderstanding, and why couldn't I calm this woman down? I'm human. I'm used to making mistakes and then saying, my bad, I apologize, that's not what I meant. For some reason, she just wouldn't let it go. I was completely thrown off. I was completely confused. That's when I realized, while I was trying to calm down a guest at a charity event meant to continue my father's legacy and raise money for the community, she was literally making a scene. I don't know if you can consider just getting up and walking out making a scene. But okay. What I didn't realize was that this particular cast member had already filmed a lot for the show by the time she showed up to my charity event. Not to mention she was in music videos and had done some acting. Now, you know Kenya was in music videos, but you can't remember none of the music videos you were in? Not one can get named in this book. What's up, Scotty?
Hey, what's good?
Where are you at?
Oh yeah, I'm actually in the car.
Oh, okay. So where were we? You have a clip.
Oh, can I just say, don't nobody want to give Cordell no props in any way, shape, or form, and he probably didn't even sign that check.
Well, so what don't you like about Cordell?
Besides his controlling nature.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Porsha couldn't sneeze without letting him know.
I mean, so this is what she wanted, though, right? She told us that she wanted Cordell, or she wanted to be a kept woman. So are you saying that you want to be kept, and yet you don't want any rules or regulations?
No, but it's a difference between, like, you know, wanting to be a wife and a, you know, homebody or a home provider or whatever, and just completely not being able to, like I said, even breathe or sneeze without him saying something. You seen the show? She trying to tell him something, and he's like, I mean, did you hear what I said? You better check that. She trying to tell you a story, and you won't even let her speak.
I get what you're saying. I just feel like for anybody, be self-sufficient. You don't need this man or all these men that we've heard her be with to take care of her. She was a young business owner. I can give Porsha a lot of shit on this in this book, but what I can't take away from her is her ability to start businesses, and I think that is admirable. But she chose that life. She didn't have to stick with him. Once she saw he was controlling and gave her Brandy's ring or Tanya's ring and all these things, none of those things mattered to her. All she wanted to do was be kept and be in that 20,000 square foot house. But as always, the shit is always greener on the other side. You thought you wanted to be a beautiful beard in a 20,000 square foot house, and it backfired on you. So I don't feel bad for her.
Oh, I didn't say I felt bad for her, but I certainly don't feel bad for Cordell, and he probably didn't sign that check.
Yeah, no, we will get there, because like I said, I'm gonna have to do a trigger warning a little bit later on. Because,
and can I just say, why was Kenya so upset because Porsha accidentally called her Miss America instead of Miss USA?
I don't know. Maybe she had some nerves too. Maybe
I don't see what the insult is. They both is a beauty pageant. So what? You is so pretty. You in this pageant and not this pageant? That literally, like, where's the shade?
I don't know, Cotty.
That never made any sense to me. And Porsha apologized several times. Like, Kenya ought to be glad that she even knew she was in a beauty pageant. They not in the same age group.
I just think that if you are hosting somebody and you have like an award for somebody and they're like, you know, they can't even get your title right, I do think it's a little bit like, would it have bothered me that much? No. But I can't speak for why it pissed Kenya off. I think that Kenya knew who this girl was, and I think she just thought she was stupid and probably beneath her, and that's why she got the attitude that she got.
Yeah. I think okay, you got like she got annoyed, like, hey, that's not my title. But when Porsha, because she had to apologize like 5 times to Kenya that night.
And I believe the apologies were sincere. I just think that Kenya, like, not everybody's gonna get along, right? Not everybody's gonna have the same mindset.
Right.
So I think that in her mindset, Kenya really did feel like this broad is dumb. Why do I have to film with this dummy?
I mean, well, we did later find out Porsha is not the smartest, and she thought that the Underground Railroad needed a conductor.
I don't even think that she gives us that in the book. She talks about some
Oh,
of more
really?
embarrassing stuff, but I don't think she gives us the Underground Railroad stuff. Okay, so where were we? So make sure, Kadi, when you're not talking, could you mute it? Because there's a little background noise.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
No problem. So Kadi B is one of my YouTube buddies. She's definitely a content creator. She talks about so much. If one of my mods could drop her link in the chat, I would really appreciate that. Let's see, where were we? That's when I realized while I was still trying to calm down a guest at a charity event that meant to continue my father's legacy and raise money for the community, she was literally making a scene. Not to mention she was in music videos and had done some acting. She knew what she was doing. I, on the other hand, had never been in front of these type of cameras. But what kind of cameras were you in front of, Porsha, outside of the music video cameras? Every time a camera pointed in my direction, I felt my heart race and my breath quicken and my palms sweat while I sat there trying to be natural. I was low-key, well, really high-key freaking out. It caused me to say a lot of dumb things, especially while filming my first season, that I simply didn't realize that I meant. So I have somebody else in the back. I'll definitely let you up, but if you could turn your camera on really quick so I can make sure you're not going to bomb me with anything. Oh, and they left. Kadi. Okay. After realizing that she was doing what I like to call housewife stuff, it made me freak out even more because that's not why I had joined the show. I honestly wanted no part in the drama. I didn't know where she was going to take it and if she had planned to take my family down with the legacy right along with her. What fans didn't see, because it happened off camera, was that a producer came to me as he was huffing and puffing out the door. So she's leaving and she wants a... So she's leaving and she wants a plate of food to go. A to-go plate? It was one thing to want to leave my charity event because of an offense and an entirely different thing to demand a to-go plate. Now, y'all, Kenya, girl. Well, you know, we did see, that sounds like something what Candy would do, not Kenya, but maybe she was hungry. The audacity was baffling to me. Let's just say she never got that plate of food to go. Standing at the foot of her driveway of my family home, she continued to blow the fact that I had referred to her as Miss America instead of Miss USA way out of proportion, even calling me disrespectful. So I had no choice but to ask her to leave. She didn't ask her to leave. She said she was trash and told her to stay on the curb where she belonged. So, again, to that person who was in the chat, I don't mind letting you up. You just have to show your face really quickly before I put you on screen, just to make sure you're not trying to do nothing crazy. Excuse me. When I got home that night, taking off one gold shoe after the other, I thought I had blown it. I thought I had gone on camera and made a complete fool out of myself. I thought I was nervous and bumbling mess. I thought I'd never hear from the producers again. But the next thing I knew, Cordell and I were being invited to Anguilla to film again, and I couldn't be more excited. And everybody knows the Anguilla trip. That was the Gone with the Wind Fabulous trip.
Oh God, not Anguilla. So much went wrong with that trip. So much.
So I actually, during Anguilla, I didn't really mind Porsha. I did kind of feel like Kenya was playing it up for the cameras. But now that I think about it, I don't think that Porsha would have got a second season if Kenya had not played it up with her, right?
Well, I don't know because at the reunion, Andy said they was not gonna ask Porsha back until like Porsha went on her whole tirade, her monologue that lasted 5 minutes.
Oh, Kadi, what kind of friend are you? You didn't remind me to put up my allegedly banner.
Oh, well, what's alleged?
Oh, and I don't hear any more background noise, so you could keep your mic on. The background is I don't hear anything.
Oh, okay, cool.
I didn't quite realize what I was getting Cordell, his son, and I into when I invited cameras into the family home that I grew up in. I didn't realize how much I'd be sacrificing when those cameras began rolling. I didn't quite realize how tough I'd have to become when it all began. It didn't hit me until I watched my first season, season 5, as it rolled out episode by episode. What's up, Callie?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome to the channel.
Oh, that's right. I've never been on your channel before, have I? Oh, yeah, I did
been on
Selling
my chat
Tampa.
before.
Yeah, I think we talked about Selling Tampa. I don't know if that was you were bored, but
You mean
yeah.
selling ass in Tampa?
Or making a fake show in Tampa?
Okay, so for anybody who is new, because again, thank you so much. I just hit 2,000 subs. Definitely go back and follow these chapters. I'll do a what is that called, Kadi? A playlist. I'll do a playlist
Oh, yeah.
of the chapters. I saw myself in a whole new way, in an entire different world when I watched myself on TV. I saw my reactions to the other women. I saw some of the dumb stuff I said. I saw how my marriage looked on TV. I saw how I looked on TV, which was nothing like the confident, compassionate, funny woman I knew. And I said to myself, I've just made a big mistake. We look terrible. I really don't know if I can go through with this. Watching this different version of myself on TV felt like I was swimming in a great big blue ocean, but unable to catch my breath with no life jacket or shore in sight. To me, I think what was happening was Porsha's reality was actually showing up on TV, and she couldn't hide anymore, and Cordell couldn't hide anymore, and that was the problem for them because everything else in her eyes was picture perfect, but she's telling us in the book that she was miserable.
Well, we know Porsha lies to herself. She's pretty delusional. I mean, and she puts men on the pedestal. So it's a wonder that she, looking at it, she sees something different than what she may have perceived for herself.
Did any of my mods, one of my mods, I don't think they did it yet. Please put Kadi's link to her channel in the chat. Definitely subscribe to my girl Kadi.
Thank you.
It didn't help that I was so new to social media. In fact, I had literally just joined Instagram a few weeks after I started filming the show. I was used to my girls writing comments underneath my squared photo saying, "Oh, you're so fab, you look great." So you're only used to positive comments?
Well, she probably had no followers except her friends. Like I'm not a personality. I don't have anybody following me. So nobody's going to go to my page and write something negative because who knows who I am to do that?
I've got negative comments, and I have a small page as well. I've got negative comments on YouTube.
YouTube though. Yeah, but you do YouTube. You were doing something like Porsha wasn't doing anything in the entertainment industry to have people following her.
Callie, I feel like you just disrespected her. She was in the Trillville video, so she was already famous.
I remember who Trillville is. I don't. I think I heard the name before, but
Some Cut is a classic. Okay. That food looks so good. Congratulations to you and your husband. So when these comments turned more critical and at some points downright rude, I wasn't prepared at all. Every person's comment that I read felt as if they were saying it straight to my face, and they were fighting words at that, because we know she's a kickboxer. Even though I often didn't know the people behind these hurtful tweets and Instagram comments, their type words cut deep. Oh, I think I hear an echo. I think somebody's echoing. In the chat, can you guys hear an echo? Oh, now it's gone. Sorry. Okay. Even though I often didn't know the people behind these hurtful tweets and Instagram comments, their type words cut deep and stayed with me long after I had stopped scrolling. It was a shock to my system, an emotional shock, shaking the very core of who I was or who I thought I was portraying, in your marriage, in your life. In front of those cameras, I thought I was presenting. All of these descriptive words let you know who this woman is. I thought I was presenting an ambitious young woman who lived in Atlanta and had an inspiring family that had done a lot for the community. I thought viewers would see a Black woman with a loving and caring husband. The picture that I was painting was beautiful to me. But it wasn't until I read those social media comments that I realized people were watching someone completely different. They were watching the real you, girl. Like, sometimes it makes my brain hurt. Like,
I don't necessarily think that we were watching the real her at that point. I think we were watching the real Cordell at that point. At that point, Porsha was still doing a character.
But her character was dumb.
But I think but women do that. Women like her do that. It's the ditzy act. Marilyn Monroe was famous for it. I just act ditzy and stupid. And that Underground Railroad thing, I think she did it on purpose. I think that was part of the act. I'm just so dumb and ditzy and I talk like this. And that's that Marilyn Monroe thing.
Wow. I think that is what really turned me off this woman on her first season. I could get past the 265 days. I could get past some of the dumb stuff that she said. But when she did that, it felt like a direct attack on every person involved in the Underground Railroad.
No,
and I just couldn't get
racist. It really was. It was like that was like, okay, if you were a few shades lighter saying that, you probably would have got punched in the face. You know?
I really felt like, I think that hurt the show. She considers that moment iconic. We'll get into that kind of stuff because she considers
because she did it on purpose. That's why.
Oh, hold on. We got one of my faves. What's up, Miss Bernice?
Hello, guys. Hello. Hey, Cotty.
Hi.
Hey, lady. How you doing? If she don't get her portrait of Dorian Gray acting butt on out of here, what the heck you mean you was portraying yourself? You don't know who yourself is, Hoochie Mama? What? Really?
So it's safe to say you're no longer in the Porsha fan club, Miss Bernice?
Huh?
It's safe to say you're no longer the president of the Porsha fan club?
I was never the president of the Porsha fan club. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. You know, I give you, if I see that you're messing up, I give you a second chance. But Porsha had second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Mm-hmm.
And you showed me who you are. So I believe you when you showed me who you truly are. So you running around saying like, I didn't like the way I was portrayed. You can't nobody do you but you.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry to interrupt. You guys, I got a cash app. I got a big cash app.
Ooh. Make it rain.
Thank you so much, Queen. I think it's Amuraze. She says, congratulations on the 2K for subs, Queen of Ace. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You don't have to support my channel. I forgot to support
right.
Kadi, you're a horrible fan. No, I love Kadi.
And I think the only reason that initially Kenya was so annoyed with Porsha, because Kenya looking at her, I worked hard for what I got. And you expect everything to be handed to you. You ain't got to work for it. And that's no, boo. You got to work for it because you make the rest of us look bad. Because
I have a question for
people
all of you
assume
guys.
that we got to act like you in order to get ahead, and you making me look bad, boo.
I
I
have a
think
quick
that's what it
question for
was,
you guys.
100%.
Now that, because I do love Kenya. Let me not even play. I really do like Kenya. I do know that she can be problematic at times, but I really do like her. Now that we know that Kenya goes after the same type of controlling guys, do you see how similar her and Porsha can be at times? Like the fact that we got to see behind the scenes with Mark and how she kind of cowered to him, even though he was horrible to her and controlling. It almost felt like now that that veil has been lifted, we can see the similarities. And maybe that's why Kenya, the claws came out a little bit.
I don't think they're that similar because I think Porsha
No.
is a gold digger, and I don't think
Right.
Kenya is. I
No.
think Kenya
Not
is
the gold
looking
digging part,
for
but the aspect of dating that type of
No,
man.
it's the chase and love part because Kenya's mother basically did not want her. So Kenya's been chasing love her whole life, and Porsha has been trained to go after that bag.
Exactly.
So it's similar, but it's not the same. But it is definitely similar, and it does lead to the problems of their lives.
Who are we thinking trained her?
Her mama and her daddy, quite frankly, because he used to take her with him when he was out cheating. And what kind of
I think the dad was way worse than the mom. I think the mom had nothing on the dad. I think that he was the community king of the 80s.
Exactly.
What do I like about Kenya? I think Kenya is beautiful. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's very well spoken. I think she carries herself. She's one of those people that you could kind of place her anywhere and she's gonna mesh. Do I think that she's problematic? I think that's how she plays herself up on the show. I do not believe in my heart that that's how Kenya really is.
No.
Because you know what, William, you just proved my point. I think what most people like about Kenya is that she's pretty. I honestly think that's why people like her.
She's like a chocolate Barbie doll.
She is not a nice person, and she's not a fun person. She's not an entertaining person. She's mean.
Kenya knows the assignment that she need to do. She don't take it personal. Okay, you wanted to be the person to get on everybody's nerves. Okay, boom. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
I don't know if that's an act, you guys.
It's easy for Kenya not to take it personal when she's the attacker.
Right.
That's all everybody else is the one who's getting hurt
Exactly.
behind it. So why would Kenya take it personally?
Right, she's the antagonist.
No, will not drag Kenya like Porsha did. We're not doing this.
No, I'm Team Twirl. I'm Team Twirl, but
these are not isolated incidents. This happens with any woman that comes on the show that is either successful or appears to be in a relationship. Is she
right? We can take Kim Steele.
Or
look at what she did to Kim Steele for no reason at all. Kim didn't bother anybody.
Oh wait, I love this person. I got another Cash App.
Oh wow! Make it rain.
Do not come for Kenya. Where is Gabor?
But I mean, it's like you guys got to really tell me, other than the fact that she is pretty. I'm sorry, I don't see what you, as far as me being a viewer watching a television show, I'm not really seeing the entertainment factor there other than the fact of looking at a pretty woman. I don't see it. I see her being mean and I see her storyline being very depressing. Since she's been on the show, her storyline's been very depressing. We've never seen a real win for her.
Her daughter.
We've never seen light, funny moments with her. She doesn't really have a family that's on the show with her to give us those warm family moments. Oh, this is a cute little family. We're not getting any of that from her.
You did get that from her when her auntie was on the show.
That was depressing.
That's only because her auntie sided with her mother.
Well, isn't that her sister?
Yes, but I can side with my sister, but I can tell my sister that she's wrong.
But do you think her mom has mental illness?
There's something there. I don't know.
I think her mom probably has schizophrenia or something, and Kenya knows that, and they have told her that since she was old enough to understand, and she still refuses to accept it. That is what I 100% believe is happening. I think that's why the family still brought her around the mom and everything, because I think it was explained to her, like, look, she's got mental illness. That is what I've always believed.
You can have your parent can, because my mother was schizophrenic. You can have your parent can be schizophrenic and you can still have a loving relationship with. It's up to that parent.
It depends on what their delusions are, because some people's delusions are that their kids are possessed and things like that, and they actually will attack their kids. So I suspect, highly suspect, that there is some mental illness, and that is why the aunt felt the way that she felt, because she's like, you know, she's mentally ill. Why are you getting on TV and doing this? I honestly think that's what it is.
I don't know anything about it. I can't say. I've never seen her mom to experience anything to even guess that she has any type of mental issues. So I can't say.
Well, I mean, she did. She wasn't that mentally disturbed if she could call her during the moment where Kenya became Miss USA. She wasn't that mentally disturbed when she could call her to acknowledge her daughter. So we really don't know what is there. I always thought that maybe there was possibly something with the father. But guys, we can pick this back up. Let's finish where we were in the book.
Yes, let's get back to this. Let me turn my brain off. Okay.
No, the book is about to take a turn. I read a little further. It's about to take a weird turn.
I was telling them that we were
the whole book is weird.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a trigger warning before we get there.
Yeah.
The cameras couldn't hide my insecurities. They couldn't hide my anxiety. They couldn't hide how nervous I was in front of those little black lenses. Growing up, when I used to stare at my mother's camcorder, creating my own TV show through similar looking lenses, it didn't feel like this. The people I imagined watching me at that age thought I was smart, beautiful, and talented. Girl, when were you studying? Because she never talks about doing homework. What was even better was that the imaginary audience understood me and my sense of humor in my heart. These viewers, whom I was just getting to know, didn't see that. What made it even trickier was that Cordell didn't want cameras taking up space between us and our home, her 20,000 square foot house. So when it was first time to film, Nene Leakes and Cynthia came to the Hosea home, the same place where I had hosted the charity event. I had planned to discuss Hosea Feed the Hungry and Homeless while Nene updated us on her Twisted Hearts Foundation, which was aimed at helping victims of DV. Meanwhile, Cynthia was just about to launch the Bailey Agency, which helped give aspiring models more visibility. I couldn't camouflage how excited I was to welcome Nene and Cynthia into my family's home. These were the same women I had watched Sunday after Sunday on my own television. It's why I'd make selfless gaffes that I never would have made if I was just simply living my life without millions of people potentially watching. Now, girl, you're blaming the cameras for the stupid things that come out of your mouth. This book is a stupid thing that came out of your mouth. Buying yourself a promise ring is a stupid thing that came out of your mouth. Your baby hairs and your weave making you exotic. That's the stupid thing that came out of your mouth, and there were no cameras involved.
Whoa. Rewind that. Did you say what? Her baby hairs and her weave made her exotic?
When Porsha was first dating her first NFL player, she said that the other people around her, the wives and football girlfriends, accepted her because she looked exotic, didn't look like a normal black girl because she had good weave and baby hair.
That is the most stupid and asinine thing I ever heard in my life.
Not only that, we're the same age. The time period that she was talking about, they were still making fun of black women for wearing weaves.
Thank you.
Not normal. You were considered special if you had your own long hair, but if you were wearing a weave, that kind of was just like you got clowned. So this is not in 2020. This is like 20 years ago. She's talking about, if not longer. So somebody thinking you're exotic because you had a weave, people were making fun of women for wearing weaves. So I don't know what she's talking about.
Right. When I think of exotic, I'm thinking of Samoa. Tango.
Well, this
Philippines.
is out of Portia's own head. She's thinking. No one told her this. This is how she thinks.
So
She looks exotic.
no, boo.
Really quick, LRGA Curves has a channel. I just found out. I think she does kind of the same things. If somebody would put her channel in the chat, definitely like and subscribe to her as well. I just did today, so I'm excited because she definitely has an opinion about everything. So
You know,
channel. I'll go check it out.
I just found out today. So definitely support her, guys.
because Porsche acting like a football player that got hit in the head too many times. You know, we need a concussion
Counter
protocol. Come on now.
She definitely something. Let's see. I couldn't camouflage how excited I was to welcome Nene and Cynthia into my family's home. My heart began racing as I watched the Real Housewives OG, the woman who literally started the show, and her model best friend, Cynthia, step out of a white Range Rover. Now, she can remember what the Range Rover looked like at her first filming, but she can't remember she was in the Trillville video. I'm not going to let that go. She has no recollection.
Probably couldn't
because it's materialistic. Remember, she's materialistic. Cha-ching. I ain't saying she a gold digger, remember? Okay.
I am, Ms. Bernice. I've been saying it for 7 chapters.
I second.
I had never met these ladies before, so I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't know if they'd be nice, if they'd be mean, if once the cameras turned on, they'd be hilarious, and then once the cameras turned off, they'd curse me out. I had no clue, so I just I said a silent prayer and hope for the best. If you watch that episode in season 5, you can hear Nene say, "Nice to meet you," when I opened the door to my grandfather's home because we had really never met. I was so excited to talk about Hosea Feed the Hungry and Homeless. I remember thinking, make sure you get the facts straight because this is your family's charity. This is your family's legacy. The last thing I wanted to do while millions of people were watching was mess up how they could support us. While on the outside, I may have looked like I had it all together, inside, I felt so nervous that I let my words fly out of my mouth. It almost felt like I couldn't control them, slipping out in ways that I wasn't used to. I was used to being Porsha, who spoke in church pulpits about people not being gay. I added that. She didn't say that. Sorry.
That's a whole other issue.
I was used to being the Porsha who spoke in church pulpits and knew what to do on the mic. I knew how to string words together so well. I felt like I could preach the gospel and minister to people and bring them closer to God. So it didn't make sense that once cameras turned to me, words felt like they were slipping through the palms of my hands. And all I could do was watch as gravity pulled them to the ground, scattering them. Now, Ms. Bernice, I knew you weren't around for the first few episodes, but Porsha actually admitted that one day she passed out in church and she decided to just lie and say that she had caught the Holy Ghost. So she lies on God too, y'all. Porsha will lie on God.
Well, I believe later on This Nation, Porsha said that she's actually diagnosed with something that was making her pass out. I remember this was years ago.
The point is, instead of going to the doctor, you're telling the people at church, "Oh, I passed out because of the Holy Ghost," and she admitted that was a lie.
Yeah, she had an actual medical condition. It wasn't a Holy Ghost.
But why would you lie on God? He didn't do nothing to you. According to you, he was the one that told you to go after Cordell while you were on the dance floor in the club shaking your ass. But I digress.
See, one of my Luke songs just popped in my head. I want to let it pop right back out. Okay.
Which one? This is a messy channel, so we say it around here, Ms.
This sort of weird hearing God's voice thing, and I don't know, her brain just works really weird, and she has a very weird view of religion.
No, she just weird, period. When you live in your own fantasy world and reality you don't recognize reality, you can say and do whatever you want. And that's what Porsha has done.
Yeah, it's almost like there's some level of mental illness. I don't know if it's a borderline personality disorder or something like that. I'm not a psychiatrist, but it's something ain't right.
And we move on.
Yeah.
I was telling Nene and Cynthia that the charity, which feeds thousands in need, didn't just operate on Thanksgiving Day. This was something that my family had emphasized to me. I had to share that our mission took place year round. We really did the work. Excuse me. We really did the work every day. So I highlighted that. This was Porsha's opportunity to really tell us who she is and what she's about. The fact that she's now saying to these people that we really did the work every day, and we've not even heard her so much as to say she volunteered on a weekend or fed on Thanksgiving. So I really don't like when she steers the audience into having this misconception about her. We've known everything. We know about a Chanel bag, but we don't know anything about Hosea Feed the Homeless outside of the fact that you love to say that it's a part of your legacy. But she's never did the work. And I think that's why people like Aunt Liz and that side of the family have no respect for her, because it's very money driven.
She want the glory, but she don't want to work for it.
Yeah.
Again, I think Hottie's gonna drop off. If somebody would again put her link in the chat, I would appreciate it. She's a content creator and she's really great, guys. So check her out.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
While on the outside, I may have looked like I had it all together. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. You're breaking up, Cotty. Okay. I think she's gonna drop off. So if you can hear us, thank you for coming, and maybe she'll be back. I was telling, okay, blah, blah, blah. We really did the work every day. Lie. I had so much adrenaline running through me as I connected with these women who had told me they were familiar with our charity work. And I was so nervous and excited to get the words out that I said 265 days a year. And I didn't even flinch when I said it. I didn't even catch myself. I didn't even realize I had said it instead of 365. It was so embarrassing. Oh my God. I watched in my bedroom. I watched in my bedroom by myself months later when the episode aired. At first I thought, wow, I look so confident. I am representing my family well. So she really thought that she had done a good job, guys. When the words came out of my mouth, I had to rewind the tape to confirm I had made the mistake. After that now iconic episode aired.
But what about the Underground Railroad?
She doesn't mention that. I don't know if it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be in the next chapter, but she does not mention that so far. Did you read chapter 8 already, Kylie?
I don't remember anything being in there about the Underground Railroad. I know I followed along with someone else who was doing a reading. I do not have time to read this, but I don't remember her mentioning that.
I don't think that she does, to be honest with you. I really think that she stopped short of saying and doing things that really make her look bad. But we at this channel, we don't forget.
Mm-mm.
And that's why I made that the thumbnail, because we don't forget, Porsha. Not on this channel.
But
we remember.
Like that whole, and Paris Hilton does it too, where they have this fake voice and they act like they're just so stupid. And it's just a character that they're doing. And I feel like that's what we're getting here. We've seen that that's not her real voice. Like, we've heard her real voice come out at times. So this is a thing that women do. And I think that's why Kenya never cared for her, because she picked up on it. Like, from her being in pageants and stuff. I'm sure she's been around other women that do this.
Yeah.
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 And that's another reason why Porsha didn't like Kenya from the jump, because Kenya's from Detroit like me. And we know bull when we see bull. And Kenya saw that Porsha was full of crap.
Mm-hmm.
And like, y'all fooled by this. I'm not fooled by this. And okay, I treat you so accordingly. Okay. That's why her and Kenya butt heads. But both of them are hurt souls. Kenya was hurt by her mama, and Porsha was hurt by her mama and her daddy. How you gonna take your child on your creep fest? Come on now, really?
But I don't even think Porsha wants to admit that this man did anything wrong.
Which
I
one? Which
really
man?
don't.
Her dad?
Her dad. I don't. I think that she's still thinking that he did not really do anything wrong. Like, I don't think that
No.
she's really resided herself with how damaging that was to do to her.
Right. No.
You
Because
know
your
what? I
father,
would counter that. I would
your,
counter that. I think that
your,
she does know because she has a way of making the audience feel throughout every relationship, every experience that she's the victim. I think she knows very well what she did by putting that in her book. And it's her story to tell, but it's like it doesn't have to be the running theme that you're always the victim.
right. You got to take accountability, boo.
But I
Well,
don't
I can
see
tell
that.
you why she's always the victim, because she ignores the very obvious signs that these men are no good, because she still
Money driven.
has this like fantasy, this gold digger. I call it the gold digger fantasy, because that it never works out in reality. That you can get this crummy ass man, but because he has money, that's going to make up for it. And
Mhm.
she keeps doing the same thing over and over again without understanding, like, this is not going to work. Doesn't matter how much money you have, you're going to be miserable because this is a bad dude.
Exactly.
It's always the picture perfect look. I mean, when I saw that Simon gave her a similar Rolls Royce with the exact same color, I was like not
I
surprised
mean,
at all.
you know what, Stripe, the gremlin, let's not start talking about him, please. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
okay, here's the thing with that. Porsha has been on TV for 10 years. She's 40 years old.
Mhm.
Why didn't you already have your own Rolls Royce that you had bought by this point? Like,
She
I
did
mean,
at one that that
Mm,
married
I'm
African
not
gave
really
her that she told me.
understanding why she is still doing this gold digger stuff at this point in her life, especially when you tried it twice and got burnt.
did you
Actually,
look
more
at
than
the
twice.
did you look at the Family Matters?
Oh yeah,
Did you look
I
at Family
watched it.
Matters?
Uh-huh.
That's why.
Not that face,
She was
Callie. Why are you making
that
that
yeah.
face, Callie?
That cause she because she was taught to do that. I'm sorry. She was taught to do that.
So again, we're
But
saying that
being
Mama
taught to
Diane
do
is the
that
reason.
by women who don't have the opportunities that you have had, Porsha has every opportunity to be with any kind of actress, television personality, brand ambassador. She could have been anything. Instead, she decides, no, I'm going to go sleep with ugly men for money. Like, what is going on?
And some people's husbands.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, her
I mean,
family never told her she's that her value in herself. That's why I would never tell my nieces and my great nieces that the only thing they are beautiful. You got more value than just your appearance. How you treat people and how people treat you. That's what your character is. I always ask my nieces, okay, let me give you a story. If you met yourself, would you like yourself? And if you don't like yourself, how you going to change it for the better? Portia wouldn't know how to answer that.
my grandmother always taught me never allow somebody to do for you what you can't do for
Do for
yourself.
yourself.
And I abide by that wholeheartedly. I don't need you to give me shit. I'm gonna do it. And if I can't do it, I don't deserve to do it. And if
Right, because you're giving them control.
I can't do it, like,
No.
what's up, Prosperity Thick Girl?
Hey everyone, how y'all doing?
Hey,
I'm good.
Prosperity, partner in crime. What up, girl?
Did you get out? Did you get our Todd interview? Callie, she's supposed to be hooking me up with Todd for an interview. We're gonna get
Oh,
that
Candy Todd?
babying up
Don't
Todd.
Oh, that Todd. I totally
That
forgot he was
time.
ever even on the show. I
ba-
mean, wasn't
baby
that
contract.
just a story, a fake story that Portia concocted with, from what I've heard, that's what he said, that the whole
Prosperity Thick Girl came on my show and advised us all about the truth behind Todd and how they used him and everything. So yeah, it was.
I've also heard that she was not with Cordell before she got on this show. They had already broken up. And they got back together just to be on the show.
Yep.
Nothing
Okay.
about Portia's real. coming together because they
No,
are
she's
the
doing a
same person. That's
character.
how they close.
You're pretty
Right.
low, Miss Prosperity. You're really low. And somebody says there's some echo.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
said her and Simon Simone are the same person. That's how they're able to be together. 'Cause they are the same person. They're tricking each other the same. They're using each other for the same thing. It's just a payoff for them two. That's how they coexist for so long. But now they're coming up with the breakup scheme. I do not believe it's gonna go on too much longer. He gave you
Oh,
the
okay.
same
So they're
ring
saying
and
there's
the
no
same
echo.
car. Just gave you 2 more doors. Girl,
Oh, okay. So really quick, back to the book because we're almost done, and then we'll open it up to like some free talk. It really did hurt my feelings. It hurt so bad that I broke down, crying hysterically to Nene and Cynthia on a three-way call, screaming, "I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. What is happening? People don't like me. People are calling me names. People are being downright cruel." The ladies knew what it felt like to be misunderstood by the viewers and the bloggers and the media. They understood what it meant to be unhappy with the way you portrayed or just from talking too much or not enough. They told me that it was okay to feel how I feel, especially when it came to how my marriage looked on TV, but to quickly get over it. It's okay, Nene advised. It's your first season. Everybody goes through this first season. She's right, Cynthia added. Everybody goes through this. But Porsha, you're built for this. You can do this. That's why they picked you. You know how many women would kill for this job? They chose you for a reason. Now, juxtapose that, guys, with the fact that at a few years later, Cynthia had to kick her in the cooch to stop her from attacking her. So this
Mm.
woman who talked her off the ledge after her very first scene filmed, after she had no use for Cynthia anymore, she was willing to beat the hell out of her. So this is again another running theme with Porsha. When she needs you, she loves you, and as soon as she doesn't, you can be discarded. Nene and Cynthia literally had to talk me out of leaving the show that day because of the online harassment, and I'm thankful that they did. In fact, it always seemed that Nene in particular was there to either calm me down or give me a true tea through the ups and downs of my first season. You know you and Cordell are gonna break up, right? She told me during one of those conversations. Excuse me, I said, completely offended by the suggestion. I didn't care who she was. She wasn't gonna sit here and tear down my marriage. That was already broken. No, seriously, I don't mean any harm, but the show is going to change your marriage. Mark my words. I'm not telling you what you heard. I'm telling you what I know, Porsha. Now listen to me, she said in that signature Nene twang that I had fallen in love with during the season of Real Housewives. You on this TV show, right? Their pussy game gonna go up. You know how these women be. Nene said of those kinds of women who throw themselves at any man they see on TV. So she was talking to Porsha about Porsha.
Ooh, the shade of it all.
Not knowing that that's who Porsha is day to day. And in the meantime, while he's at work and while he's at the grocery store and while he's with his boys, people are calling him Porsha's husband. It doesn't matter what job he has now because he's no longer on that field. He's losing fame, and now you're the star. He ain't gonna like that, and he ain't gonna like you having all this time dedicated to something outside of the house. I didn't want to believe it, but every single warning Nene uttered that day came to fruition. I thought the cameras would be a good distraction from the very real problems we were facing in our marriage, but they weren't distracting at all. If anything, they magnified the facade we had built brick by unsteady brick. They can say what they want about Nene, but everything that she said was on point.
Mm.
And I think she probably experienced that in her own marriage. So again, when she needed Nene, she loved Nene. But if y'all will remember when Porsha got kicked out and she rented that 8,000 square foot house, she was across, like she was a couple streets away from Nene and never even called the woman to say, I'm your new neighbor. Like that's some weird shit.
Exactly.
That's some weird shit. Um, I had oddly gotten used to Cordell's controlling behavior, but then he stopped coming home. Because of his job, he'd only be in our home for 3 days out of the week anyway. But when he began not even coming home for those 3 days and not answering his phone late at night when I called, I knew something was up. Especially when I texted that I was calling about his son, he'd call back immediately. But he refused to answer my calls any other time. With Cordell, it was a mental game. He seemed to want to control every single thing about my life, how much money I had, where I lived, what I wore, who came into our home. But when it came to reaching him, accessing him, or letting him into his life, I could never reach him. Even though I was his wife, I couldn't get through to him. It was infuriatingly frustrating. Every unanswered call slowly killed my spirit, my confidence, and my common sense. It was like he wanted me to second guess myself and become solely dependent on his whim. I was willing to fight for my marriage, for our marriage. I knew men cheated. Hell, my daddy cheated. I could forgive that, but I wasn't willing. What I wasn't willing to do was actually fight. I'll never forget that the day everything changed. So we're coming up on the trigger warning, guys. Again, she's not going to go all the way, but she's going to allude to something about Cordell. As part of the control he had over me, I was completely isolated from my family and friends because he said who stayed and who went. Nobody came over. Our house was cold, unfriendly, and unwelcoming on purpose. For a person who longs to have her village hang out inside her home all the time, it was literally crushing me to be alone in that big old house. So one night, even though it was a rare night when he was actually home, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go out with friends. I'm going out. I don't care what Cordell says. When I crawled into our bed at 2 a.m., I knew I was going to pay for it. I eventually woke up later that morning to Cordell, who was already up, of course. Instead of hearing my alarm clock, I heard his voice yelling, "You're sleeping all day because you've been out all night. You didn't even cook breakfast." Y'all like my Cordell voice? What? I said, trying to open my eyes to a brand new day. Cordell, please, I'm tired. I went out last night. That's what happens when you go out late. You sleep in late. That day, we had an argument that was worse than any we'd had up until that point. What he said and did was unforgivable. While there's more to this story I can't share for legal reasons, I knew it was the beginning of the end. So again, we're in a situation where Porsha is alluding to something happening. We don't know what actually happens, but it's pretty clear that she's saying there was some form of DV. Is that safe to say, guys?
That's a lie.
What? You don't believe it?
No, I don't believe it.
I think their relationship was always somewhat abusive, allegedly. I just got that vibe from him. He always gave me that type of energy. So this is why I don't understand how you think you're going to enjoy this money if this man is treating you like dirt. It doesn't make any sense.
Right, because they controlled everything. You're not playing it like I said with Bims the other day. I said you trying to change the system, but you're not smart enough to work with the system. Come on now. If you got controlling men, you're attracted to controlling men. There's certain things that you got to do. I know that I got to be quiet, do what he want me to do, and I get the money. Because I'm sorry, you gonna give me my money? Part of it is going into account. So when we ain't together no more, I'm gonna have my money.
I think that may have worked with Dennis, but I don't think that was going to work with Cordell. I think that Cordell was just going to make her life miserable. I don't see her having any type of happiness in that situation.
What about with Simon?
Simon, I think that her and Simon are just doing an internet scam. I really do.
Exactly.
I think they're more friends. They want to get back at their exes. This whole thing is just some weird scheme that they've concocted together to get back at their exes.
Exactly. You know how you get that email saying you don't want $1 billion, and all you got to send is $1,000 and you get your money. Yeah.
I mean, he might not be a bad person, but I do think that this is a scheme to get on television.
Well, I mean, she gave up all her jobs on television, so it may not work.
Now, I have a comment to make because I keep hearing people say that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I necessarily believe she gave up those jobs. I think with Dish Nation, there was a non-compete, and she would not be able to do that in Bravo chat room, and she chose to take the risk that Bravo chat room would be picked up again. And I also think that she wanted her own show. She was sick of being on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so I think that she was like, look, I think that she was just betting on her having her own shows. I don't think that had anything to do with Simon. I think it had to do with her trying to get these shows going.
Exactly.
In the world, I could see them allowing her to be on Dish Nation in Bravo chat room permanently. I just couldn't. What company is going to let you do that?
Right. She put all her eggs in one basket too soon.
Two different production companies. So if she thought Bravo chat room was coming back, and I don't know if it is or isn't, she probably had to choose. Like, you're gonna be here or you're gonna be there. And
I'm
I
with
think she was the
Morgan.
producer on the other show.
It
Right.
was a flop.
You're right.
It was a flop. It was boring. I don't really want to know who wants to hear Porsha and the Green Eye Bandit's opinion on much, but
Giselle.
I agree, but I honestly think that that's what the thought process was. I don't think it had anything to do with Simon at all. I think it had to do with her wanting her own shows.
Well, Giselle is just an older version of Porsha, so
no, I disagree with that.
I don't think she was. I don't think she was so much of a money grab. I think she was more like prestige. I think Porsha is straight up a city girl who doesn't want to acknowledge her city girl status.
You can say it, hood rat.
Yeah, I don't think Giselle is that materialistic like that. I don't see
that.
But Giselle got the brains, and Porsha.
Okay, so we're almost done. We're almost done with the chapter. And I think Frankie asked how many more chapters. They're 4 more chapters, but they're really short. They're not like super long.
That's what I'm talking about. If you're gonna pour your soul into a book, pour your soul into a book. Let me know why you got these insecurities so I can. You saying this is in the inspiration section next to the Bible? Why? Really? Okay.
Oh, people did not like that we were talking about Giselle.
Right. Like, you're not giving nothing.
Cordell begged me to come back. He pressed me. He pleaded with me. I told Cordell I'd come back to our home, to our marriage, if he took care of some assurances that I needed in my marriage. I wanted him to go to weekly couples therapy. I wanted my name on the deed of our house because it was our family home. I also want health insurance.
You should.
So he's giving you $60,000 to do a charity event, and you don't have health insurance?
Right.
Additionally, Cordell had her on a $1,500 a month budget. So if she really wanted health insurance, she could have gone out and gotten health insurance. Well,
it sounds like that was the money for the household, because she was saying that she had to buy things for his son from that money. So that sounds like that was the money he was giving her to
buy the money,
groceries,
right? The budget for the house.
Because if you have a 20,000 square foot home, there are things in that house that $1,500 could not support.
No,
you couldn't even pay the light bill.
Heating and cleaning and things like that. I'm talking about like groceries, gas, eating out, taking his son places, like everyday expenses. That's what that sounded like to me.
Somebody who has absolutely no bills can't live off $1,500 a month in 2008. Who has absolutely no bills. When
you talk about getting health insurance, that's probably going to be $400 of that.
I don't know. I feel like if he could give you $60,000, he could pay for your health insurance.
Yeah, it's very odd that she wasn't on his health insurance.
Right, that was it. Yeah,
I don't know. That makes me wonder if this was a real marriage or if they just had some type of agreement. And I think that Kenya did allude to that, which how would she know? But it's making me wonder.
Okay. I also wanted health insurance. So she wanted to be on the deed. She wanted health insurance. For the past couple of years, I couldn't even take my son or his son to the doctor if we needed to go. So this is why I don't believe that. He also had a mother, right? So between the mother and Cordell, nobody had health insurance for their son. I do not. Do not believe that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she meant by that, because if she's not his guardian, she can't take him to the
exactly.
Doctor. So I think she's giving purposely misleading information out of context.
I don't believe it. I didn't even have the basics to survive. You had a Mercedes S-Class. You had a 20,000 square foot home. You had maids. You had a allowance of $1,500. You had everything more than basic to survive. Like,
yeah, but if you're wearing a weave, that's $1,500 right there to get that done.
And he's giving you $170,000 to keep your business afloat that was failing. He was paying $4,000 a month for your condo to keep your condo. He's giving you $1,500 a month. He's allowing Mama Diane to sit on your bed and eat in the master bedroom to eat pizza. I do not.
Well, okay, coming up with that condo, you're going to find out that it's not what you think it is.
Okay, that's next chapter?
I think it's the next chapter. It's coming up. That condo, Porsha lies a lot. That condo is not fair. It's not, you'll see. She's gonna be in a situation where it's gonna be like, well, how did she get in this type of situation?
I'm interested to know. Okay. We had
Yeah.
barely made it to our 2-year anniversary before we got into another argument over something I can't even remember. Maybe he didn't like something I said. Maybe he got sick of me asking for grocery money. Or maybe I didn't clean the bathrooms the right way. So you didn't have a maid in the 20,000 square foot home? I don't believe it. He didn't even like the yard. He didn't. Last chapter, we found out he didn't like the kids playing in the yard because they would leave marks. So I highly doubt that Porsha was the maid in this 20,000.
No, I think he was abusive. I think he just nitpicked at everything she did. They probably had a maid, but she probably left her shampoo in the wrong spot, and he went crazy.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Cordell was no saint.
So Cordell is like, who is that? Mommy Dearest.
Mm-hmm. It sounded that way, and I don't doubt it. He has that energy.
No, Porsha, you're not. He said in a tone that was so matter of fact it scared me. Thank God his son was already asleep because Cordell proceeded to chase me around the house, trying to lock every single door so I couldn't leave. I ran to one of the doors as fast as I could, but the knob wouldn't turn. I jangled it as hard as I could, but it wouldn't budge. I was locked inside again. A terror and rage filled my entire body. I would not be confined one more time. I'm leaving, I screamed from the other side. My eyes darted to a bottle of prescription pills that just so happened to be in the room. I grabbed the bottle from the table and shakily screwed it off the top. Taking a sip of water, I swallowed 6 or so pills. It wasn't the whole bottle, but it was enough to get me out of this house. By the time Cordell had finally opened the door, I was out of it. What the are you doing? This is crazy. I can't believe you did this, he said, screaming at me. I was laid out on the floor, barely conscious, but I have enough strength to say, call 911 because I'm leaving here one way or the other.
6 pills. You took 6 Oxycontin, 6 pills.
Fake suicide attempts.
Right.
That is really, really bothers me. I probably shouldn't have said that word. But fake offing themselves to get attention. I think that there are people who really do die from that. And it's just not something that you do just to get attention. If you want, you could have gotten out of that house if you wanted to get out of that house. I don't believe for 1 second that she couldn't have gotten to a phone and called her brother or somebody and they would have came over there and gotten her.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I hope to God, as somebody who has lost very close people in my life to, the S word, I don't know what to say on that. I hope that nobody ever feels like they can't get out. The thing is, in the book,
though, I think this was just to make him feel like she was doing this dramatic thing, and you know what? I don't think that there was any actual attempt to harm herself.
Right.
Yeah, the chat's feeling the same way. They asked if it was baby aspirin. I just don't know, guys. So I think I dropped the link. Again, this is one of my subscriber chats. Anybody's welcome to come up and give their opinions before we close out. I don't know, because we talked about it when we talked about Country John and him potentially R-ing Porsha. And it's like she takes you right up to the edge of telling you what's going on, and then she backs away from it. But by the time she's done it, the damage is done. Right. Allowing somebody to believe so many things happen could really damage somebody. Now, if they really did, it's her truth to tell. And, if you are dropping bombs like she did with, the singer, we'll just say Kelly, because if I say the full name, YouTube doesn't like it for some reason.
But they're still showing Trapped in the Closet on YouTube.
Probably not.
It's just weird. I would prefer this book, if she's going to put it out there, put it all the way out there. If it's your truth to tell it. And if somebody sues you,
because she didn't file a police report, you can't just randomly say that
exactly
without filing an actual police report. So that person can sue you.
Yes, Tasha K.
I do think that she probably did have a cry for help. I do believe that there was probably some DV because she alluded to that in her song Flatline as well.
Let's
Um,
let's not talk about her singing, please.
you didn't
Okay.
buy Flatline, Miss Bernice?
No, I love R&B. That ain't R&B. No,
But you
no.
heard Portia sing Amazing Grace. Were you not impressed?
And I heard her voice crack doing Amazing Grace too. Like, okay.
You have never heard Porsha say she took one vocal lesson
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
or worked with one songwriter or anything
No,
like that to actually pursue a music career. That's what I'm
exactly.
saying. She has all of these opportunities and she's like, nope, I'll just go over here and screw this ugly man. It's just like, really?
And you back at square one again. I'm sorry, when you keep doing the same thing over and over. I got a lot of nieces like that. She's in her 40s. She got
Portia's in
buku
her 40s.
kids. Yeah, she got buku kids. And it's like every month we got to come up with money to go put food on the table because you done blew all your money.
But let's just be real. Porsha had fertility issues. Had she not had fertility issues, she probably would have had a bunch of kids. I mean,
No,
let's just be real here.
Porsha before. Did you read the chapters before
Yeah,
she got pregnant a couple of times?
Yeah, but she also, when she did finally decide to keep the child, she couldn't have it anyway.
Oh.
So we don't know how long she had those issues.
Well, mostly the times like the sins of your younghood. When you get older, you decide you want to have kids. It come back to haunt you.
You know what? I would have to say, as a woman with fertility issues, I never heard that before. And I can say I've never had an A, never been pregnant, nothing like that. I have had issues since I was 9 years old. So you can be born with issues.
Yeah, I know. I understand with endometriosis and stuff like that. I got a few family members who have it. But I'm talking about the ones who used their body like it was a roulette table. Come on now. We know the ones. And then when you get in your old age, you find it's difficult to finally conceive when you want a child. Now, when you didn't want,
are not stable. Yeah. You know, it's. I mean, she didn't even know Dennis.
By the grace of God, little PJ was made.
She did know Dennis. She knew that he had a car, some money, and she opened her legs. That's what she said.
Right.
She knew all the important things.
Right. Because it was all about sexual attraction. That's the only reason Dennis and Porsha got together. Simple as that.
I would just be real. Dennis ain't cute like that. Porsha is just stuck in this mindset of thinking that she needs to get money by going through a man, even though life has shown her opportunity after opportunity to make her own money. And it's just really frustrating to me. I have a very hard time with her.
Yeah,
that's like, okay. Even Paris Hilton, even though she was doing that dummy act, she still went out there and got that bag.
Right. That what frustrates me about her too, because for young women, I tell them, never, like you said, your grandmama always said, never depend on somebody else to give you something that you can't give to yourself. Because you're giving that person control. Because you always got to wait for that person to say, like, okay, my allowance, I got to get my allowance. Let me go see what type of mood he in so I can get my money. No, baby. No, you're supposed to have you give your own self allowance. That's why you work. You don't want nobody to give you anything. You got to work for it. And unfortunately, Porsha don't want to work for it.
I mean, we can say she does work. It's considered the oldest profession, and we'll leave it at that.
It's baffling that somebody, you know what I mean? It's like someone coming up to you saying, would you like to be a TV personality? Nah, I'll just go over here and sleep with this old guy with a gut.
Right.
You know, that's literally what she's doing.
Oh, people, so we have somebody likes Dennis. Oh, not. So
Dennis is cute, but Dennis got a good soul. And that comes out. You saw that in the show.
I think Dennis loves his child. I don't think
he does.
Dennis was necessarily a good boyfriend. I think that he didn't realize what he was getting himself into dating a famous woman. I think he thought he could still sneak around and do things on the low, but Porsha is famous. If you even look like you're doing something, somebody's gonna tell her.
No, Portia's a celebrity. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's
how's
up,
it going? I don't
LRG?
know why that. Can you see me now?
Yeah, we can see you.
Was there a pause thing on there?
I don't. This channel is a mess, and we're ratchet, so who knows? We can see you
Hey,
now.
y'all.
Hi.
Vince,
Mhm.
how are
Hey,
you today? Thanks for that
good.
shout out. I totally appreciate it. Thank you.
LRG has a channel. Everybody, please go and subscribe. She's really funny. She's really entertaining. If my mods could drop her channel one more time.
Oh, you rock. Right
So
on.
you have the floor. What do you think?
Well, I got opinions about Porsha, and they're not popular opinions, but
Oh.
that's okay because you don't have to be popular to have an opinion,
Okay.
but you're entitled to it. You know what I'm saying? So on Porsha's book, which I've downloaded, I got the Audible, but I haven't started yet because I was into some sci-fi stuff. And now I'm in Tanya Times book club and we're doing this other book. And so I'll do this one after, I think. But in the meantime, just based off of what you guys are saying, for Porsha, and she's talking about this trauma that she's been going through. And it's obvious Porsha's decisions are based out of trauma.
Mhm.
And as much as I love to gossip, and as much as I love to talk about stuff, you know, water cooler talk, that's like what I consider all these channels is the new water cooler talk, right? Like, so instead of us being in our offices talking like, we're here talking, like sharing what came on last night, right? So I'm not coming from a place of hate is what I'm saying. And not saying that anybody else is either, but I'm just saying that I'm trying to like say this with love when I say, we need to give Porsha a break. If this woman is saying that she had some type of trauma, where's our compassion for that trauma? Who are we to call her a liar? Who are we to discount what she had the nerve to put in a book? Now, if it comes out, like if Cordell wants to send her a cease and desist for her allegations in the book about being locked in the house, then let Cordell deal with that. But in the meantime, like, where's the compassion for this woman? Like, that sounds like a scary experience to have to take some pills to get out of a house where you're confined with a man who obviously has some kind of something. Didn't he have a knot on his head? Is that the one that had a knot on his head?
He had a knot, and so did Jennifer Williams' husband had a knot from Basketball Wives. They
Oh,
both had
Jennifer, yeah.
That's
but he
Jennifer
looked like-
Williams. That's Doug
Cordell
Williams.
looked like
That's
he got
Doug
knots.
Williams.
Let me
Cordell looked like
interject
he
really
got
quick.
knots.
So do you feel like I or we were not being compassionate to her, or were you talking about the chat?
Well, I just
felt
feel
like I
like
definitely-
I just hear in general the
Oh,
overall
you mean
tone
in the grand scheme?
in the
Okay.
grand scheme of the streets of YouTube, which I love.
The-
I'm hearing that the rumblings are like, you know, we want tiki torches after Portia's ass because she took this lady's husband, and now everything else she did is like, oh yeah, and then remember the time, you know. But she's really like in need of.
You know, I don't believe she took her husband. I
don't think so either.
That marriage was already like falling apart. I think that her and Simon became friends and concocted this little Instagram scheme together. That is what I think is happening.
You like for marketing for a show or
Yeah.
something like, yeah. I subscribe to that. And I feel like whatever they're going through, if she's willing to put it on Front Street in front of what her daughter's going to have access to see once she does understand, she has to have all of this, like, and we know she's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I believe that she would care enough about what PJ might think in the future, if you know what I'm saying, or whatever, that this isn't that made up. Maybe she really is looking for love.
No, Porsha is a narcissist. Come on now, let's not.
I think that she is one of those women, and this is what really turned me against Porsha, is that I felt like she was trying to shut Dennis out and make Simon the daddy.
Exactly.
It really turned me against her as a person. I was getting that energy from her, and I think that is very inappropriate. I think it's dangerous. I think a whole lot of horrible things can happen. That is not that child's parent. She has a
On
father.
that, I agree. Like, I didn't appreciate her treatment of Dennis, but that doesn't mean that she didn't experience trauma. That doesn't mean that she wasn't locked in this house. That doesn't mean that she wasn't in a position where she felt powerless to leave an abusive situation in like, or like, where was she gonna go? Like, you know what I mean? So many people go through that. And I just feel like the entire Me Too movement, I said it before, is built on ladies thinking about it 35 years later and being like, you know what, that was effed up. I shouldn't have had to go through that. And even I have issue with it 35 years later, but I also allow myself to have like the compassion for like that happened to that person. And if they want to talk about it 35 years later, then that's their freaking right to say what they experienced. You know what I mean?
But
I definitely agree. I'm sorry, really quick. Hi, Autumn's mom, and I definitely agree with you, LRG. I don't think anybody has the right to say that things did not happen, but you are allowed to interpret what you read. She has put this out there, and some of the things, it's my interpretation, aren't true. Now, I'll never say the victim stuff. I believe victims 100%. If that's that woman's story, it's her story to tell, and, you know, I hope by all means that she's not in a place where she feels like self-harm is ever the answer.
Yeah, that was horrible.
But I do not agree with you when you're saying that she wouldn't. Well, what I do not agree with is where you're saying that she would not put things out there that eventually PJ could see. I don't think Porsha cares. I don't think she cares at all. I think she loves.
She would never jump on Dennis like that if she cared.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think she thinks ahead. I don't think that
she is trying to spin a narrative with Dennis that's troublesome. I don't see the whole trying to insert Simon there, because I don't think Simon wants to be there, and I don't see her trying to force him to be there. I mean, he doesn't hang out with his kids, so why would she be trying to force him to be PJ's dad? I didn't see that part, but I did see and hear what she said about Dennis's fathering all of a sudden that we've never heard these things before.
We saw it, LRG. We come with receipts on this channel. This is who he spent Christmas
not appropriate.
With, not his children.
At all.
It's not.
At all.
And that's based on.
And if Dennis was my brother, I might be whooping her ass. I'm serious.
So it's not appropriate for them to take matching pajama pictures for the holidays?
That's not.
No, it's not.
Appropriate.
Did she also take pictures with PJ's dad, her biological father, Dennis? I thought I saw pictures of that also.
That was last year.
Well,
that was last year.
Situation, there is no bio dad, other dad, because Dennis is consistently present. Dennis is her father. There is no other father. Porsha is trying to create this, and this ain't. I don't even think this is a real relationship. I think this is all for marketing. So you got your daughter.
Yeah, I don't know.
In this foolishness. If she's a little kid, she doesn't understand.
Right.
Autumn's mom, jump in. Nice to have you on the channel. I haven't seen you call in before.
No, this is my first time. Thank you for having me. LRG, you actually got me stirred up. I said, oh no, please drop the link.
But okay, I know you are, but just remember, we on this channel, we can respectfully disagree. So.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm not going to disrespect anybody. I just have a different opinion of yours. And let me tell you why. In my opinion, Porsha is a horrible representation of a woman, period. And when a person shows you who they are, you believe them. She's lied time and time and time again from the beginning to now. And then even in the stories that she's telling to today, if you listen to them, she contradicts herself. She talks out of both sides of her mouth.
Constantly.
For example, let's go back to the story she told about the singer, supposedly that did whatever to her. In that same instance, she said that she put herself in that situation. She also said she felt as though she was already there, so why back out now? That's not abuse, honey. That's a bad decision. Okay.
Well, I don't think she was saying
I wasn't speaking specifically about that situation as abusive, obviously. Like, I'm just saying, like, And I wasn't talking at all about the whole thing, like, yeah, that wasn't it. But now that you bring it up, if she said that in the book with the singer dude who likes to urinate, then
you guys, that's not the person. That's a different person.
There
She's
are
not saying that he did
situations
that
where
to her.
there are situations where like you do make bad decisions and you think about it later and you're like, that was coerced. Like you can, that's
Nobody abuses a 30-something-year-old woman to go up
that's
there.
not
And,
true. That is not true.
okay, so now in one
That is
sentence,
not true. That's not
okay,
true.
so in one sense she has all the sense, but in the next sense she don't have no common sense.
Well, no, I started the conversation by acknowledging she's not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Okay.
And I also acknowledge that she's making a lot of decisions based out of trauma. And when you make decisions based out of trauma, they are bad decisions. So I'm not saying I'm not arguing with you.
No,
but
okay.
I'm also saying that when she thinks about things later, if she feels like she was violated, that's valid.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Is it really trauma or is it greed? Because I see her getting into a lot of situations because of her greed.
I feel like the initial trauma of her father, obviously not being there for her and her kind of playing that off like, oh, it's not that bad that he abandoned us. I still got, like, no, it was bad. And you're obviously living every experience of trying not to get abandoned by the next father figure who's love. You know what I'm saying? So in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but I watch
But you
him
only
on
look for
TV.
father figures with money.
And now I feel like she feels like money could be the way for her to regain the power that she's looking for.
But if
In
she
her
really
healing,
thought that,
perhaps, so like after Cordell left her with her boxes at Diane's house, she probably never wants to feel like that again. And we all see that she's putting herself in a position to have to feel like that again. If you move in there with Simon, why you leave your house if you never want to feel like that again? So I do hear, like you say, she contradicts herself, but she still is allowed to. We all make mistakes is the moral of the story.
but
We
how many
all
mistakes is
do.
this grown woman
And
going to make?
just because she's
Porsha
able
is
to
40.
capitalize off of them, I feel like the people are coming for her because she's able to capitalize and capitalize and capitalize off of what we hear or feel like are lies, or that what we feel are like, bad decisions. And like, we don't want people to prosper that are making bad decisions. But we all make bad decisions. So why not just let her get her money?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
You're supposed to learn. You're supposed to learn from your decisions.
Yeah,
She's going
Portia's
backwards.
not learning.
She's not.
She's not learning.
I think
How
that's
is
what
she
they're
not
saying.
learning?
This is what they're saying, LRG. Some of the mistakes that she made at 25, she's doing. We see her repeating it today, and I think that's where she's lost a lot of her fan base because they can see where there's not a progression, and not only is there not a progression, this book was her ability to say, I really effed up in the past. Don't make these mistakes. But what it sounds like is a playbook to get yourself a Simon.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like the end result is. And people like trying to shake her and say, we need more. We need you to actually acknowledge that this was take accountability for your F-ups. But you say what you want. I totally believe that Porsha knew what she was getting into with Simon the minute she came into that house.
Absolutely.
Like, even if their marriage was shaky, I'm not going to go and date one of my co-workers' significant others.
I wouldn't do that either.
No, I honestly think that this was purposely planned by those two to get back at Dennis and Fallon. I 100% believe that they got on the phone and was like, you know what, we should get back at those two. I bet you if we got together, they would hate it.
But a $7 million house is a far place to take it, Callie. Once you get into a $7 million home that you're sharing, that's a little bit far.
Did Porsha put money in, or is she just along for the ride to take pictures? Did she actually invest her money into that house? We don't know.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
This person had a really good question. It says, and I want all you guys to answer. It's irresponsible to make your child form a bond with a man who has a history of discarding his past stepchildren.
Amen.
We
Amen.
know
Hello.
for a fact
Amen.
Irresponsible to make your
Exactly.
child form a bond
he
with a
has
man that has a history.
no contact
Yeah.
with Fallon's children whatsoever. And just last year, they were his children. So
Right.
to a normal person, that would be a red flag.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
would, in my opinion, Callie Notha, what do you think?
She's doing this to hurt Dennis because I don't think Dennis is in love with Porsha because they just weren't together long enough for him to be in love with her before they started having problems. So I think that she sees that the only thing that she has to hurt him is this child.
But she
Right.
has this child around him, so they're forming a bond. So I get what you're saying, that potentially it's fake, but this is really dangerous to have
I
this very
agree.
young, impressionable kid
I
around
agree.
this man. If it is fake, that makes it even worse.
I
Right.
agree 100%. I think
Miss
Because-
Denise, what do you
very
think?
disturbing.
Because I think it would break Dennis's heart if PJ would say that's Simon. Hold up. What you just say? That Simon is here with mommy. Come on now, baby. That's Simon. That's not your dada. I'm your dada. That would take it to a whole nother level.
This is why everybody
And
is
that's
turning
danger.
on her.
I don't
Yeah.
you don't play games with your kids. I'm sorry. I have no respect
This
for
is why
Porsche
she's losing
whatsoever.
her fan base.
Yeah.
So you don't think they're gonna get married, obviously,
Because the thing
Hell
with,
to the
with
no.
Dennis's
No.
mom, we
and
couldn't
you think
see
this is
it.
all just publicity?
You know, we don't know if she
So
got
if we are
mutilated
in
or not.
agreement
But
that
we see
that
it.
initial picture was somehow marketing for this whole scenario, then why aren't we also surmising that Dennis isn't as harmed a party as we believe, since he was in on the initial plotting of the whole thing? So do you think they cut him out, or do
I
you
don't think Dennis was a part of the initial plot. Porsche, from
No,
watching
I think
Family Matters, Porsche was trying to make Dennis as jealous as she could to get a reaction from him. And Dennis, being my boy, didn't
Didn't
fall
give her
for it.
one
He
and
didn't
set her
care.
off.
Right. He said,
Mhm.
okay, baby, you do you, I do me. I'm taking care of my child. Long as no harm come to my child, I ain't got nothing to say.
Hold
But
on,
let
there's an
something
echo.
happen to my child, I got worries for you.
And then when she couldn't get him with the child, that's when she started going after his mother. The only two
Exactly.
people that he cared about.
Yeah.
Porsha
I
knows
think her
exactly
issue
what
with
she's
Gina
doing.
was before that also, though. Definitely her issue with Gina played out before that moment. And I do believe that she was jelly when the other girl showed up. Maybe that wasn't part of the plan. And I do believe that, yeah, she shouldn't, insert Simon if it's fake. But I'm hoping that it's real. That's what I'm saying.
You
Yeah,
hoping
but
a
I
hell of a
think that
lot.
is real. And I was going to say, I think her problem with Mama Gina from the door is just because Mama Gina had checked her out. She knew what she was about. And she's like, okay, well, my son is grown. He's going to do what he wants to do. But son, don't be stupid. Get a prenup. As soon as she
Exactly.
mentioned a prenup, Porsha lost her mind. And then because she can't control Mama Gina, she tries to go at her. And that's what it is. Because that woman really doesn't she doesn't dig at Porsha like Porsha comes at her. You be sitting there minding her business. Don't invite me to your house to a barbecue and then you want to use me as the butt of everybody's jokes. Don't do that.
Exactly, because Mama was sitting there and she was biting her tongue because she could have said a heck of a lot to Porsha and everybody at that table. She could have ran it down, but she said, nope, I'm not falling for that.
Yeah.
I gotta be
that
here
I
for
don't
my
know why
son.
It's
I don't really know why she was there.
Because when Porsha and her cousin got up and stood by that door, like they was waiting on her.
Exactly.
Oh, I wanted to jump through that TV and like, come on, bring it, East Side, come on.
Somebody was gonna jump Gina?
Yes, Porsha and her cousin.
They weren't
Now
gonna
that
beat
whole
that old lady
situation,
up.
we really could not see Miss Gina, so we don't know exactly what happened. I'm not even really sure if she had already gone down the stairs or not, and we couldn't actually see. Because I don't understand why Porsha was so mad at Dennis if Dennis had done absolutely nothing. So we don't know what happened. We didn't see what happened. Who knows? It could have just been verbal and Porsha went off. That's what I think happened.
I'm sorry, really quick, guys. I got another Cash App. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. You don't have to. I really appreciate it. And I'm also now scrolling my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram and Make It Make Sense Now. I'm learning that I have to start doing some of this maintenance, guys.
Oh, okay.
And also hit the like button. Definitely hit
But
the
for
like button.
Porsha to go from 0 to 100 to the point where Simon couldn't even control her.
Yeah, that's what I'm not understanding. What happened where she just lost it like that? And that's what makes me think that something happened. Maybe it was just a verbal insult, but something set her off.
Yeah, there had to be something that might have got edited out or something, or that they didn't pick up
something out.
Because it was like, so like they did go from 5 to 1,000.
And for her to say, I want him arrested for what? We didn't see him do anything. So what was she referring to?
Because they was jumping on Dennis.
Exactly. So what happened to cause? It's something that they did not show us.
Yeah,
and
I didn't even see Gina though in all of that. I only saw,
been verbal.
Like, where was Gina right there? Where was Gina in all of that?
Can I say something? If you listen to Aunt Liz, when she sat down with Dennis, she gave us a clue of what happened. She simply said, what I saw was you trying to leave a situation and was being prevented from doing so. So something happened when he was trying to leave, and obviously, who would have played? The production didn't try to stop him. Porsha and Storm were the only two people there.
Right, because Porsha grabbed a boom.
Exactly.
And tried to hit somebody with it.
No, like, but what I'm trying to understand is why Porsha suddenly got that upset.
Because he had another woman there. She
never
wanted that man to have anybody else there.
There was something that happened in that moment that made her start slinging on him.
I think Mama Gina was trying to walk down the stairs. It looked like Mama Gina was trying to get down the stairs, and Porsha went to grab at her. Dennis went to try to stop her, and everything just hit the fan.
But
wait,
again,
that's what it looked like.
Hold on, really quick.
At this woman.
Hold on, really quickly.
We missed
do we really think that Porsha needs that much of a catalyst to attack somebody?
No.
Fight on television.
Okay.
Okay, and with that being said, can I say this real quick? Back to the book. When she says in the situation with Cordell, how she went out that night and he locked the door and then something happened. She won't tell us what, but after that happened, she said she was going to leave. Do we really think somebody locked Porsha in a room? And if something happened, that it was only happening to her? Let's be realistic. We done seen her go after how many people now? And now all of a sudden she Bambi? I don't think so. Miss me with all of that.
That's why I don't believe it.
And so LRG, this is why I had to call in to speak to you. All these little inconsistencies shows me you're a liar. So if you're a liar, no, you don't get grace. No, you don't get sympathy. You get none of that from me because you are a total embarrassment to everything that I stand for as a woman. You tried to have that man locked up abroad. And I've been to Mexico many times. And the one thing you do is make sure you gather yourself and you do not want to get locked up nowhere overseas. Nowhere.
But locked up for what? See, this is what I'm trying to understand. What is it?
I don't care if it was a violation of sleeping outside. You don't want to get locked up abroad. And for her,
I
that's the first thing.
you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't understand in that scenario. I don't understand what she was referring to. Like arrested. I think they edited something out.
They had to have edited something for all that arrest scene.
Yeah.
If anything, Dennis had grounds to press charges against all of them because he was getting beat.
What we saw, but they only did that because they thought he did something to her because she reacted that way, and they couldn't see.
No, Dennis grabbed his when she grabbed his mother.
No, what I'm saying is her family, because of the way that Porsha reacted, they thought Dennis did something to Porsha, and so they hopped up. They were just thinking
they on the same mentality as Porsha. We gonna get Dennis and it don't matter what.
I don't know the
that Dennis
lady's name that was talking to me, but I hear you. And what I'm saying is how do we know that she's lying? These are serious, defamatory, slanderous allegations she's saying about people with enough money to get a liar to stop her book from coming out or to take her to court about what she's lying about in these pages. So all I'm saying is that until it's proven that it's a lie, why isn't it the truth? Because she lied before, but in these situations, there are lawyers involved when you're publishing books. It has to get past legal.
Okay,
You can't just go around saying stuff in the book when the legal department has to vet it so that the people that publish it don't get sued. So I'm willing to believe that what she's saying in the book is true just based off of that fact alone. Now, these other things that she got caught lying on, so her and Phaedra lied on Candy. And I don't know what another lie is.
Okay.
What's another lie she told? Lie she told?
Okay, well, let me tell you about the one that she told. Let me tell you about the
independent woman.
Yeah.
The what?
Well,
that she was a smart, independent woman.
Well, she got all us talking about her. So she's smart enough. She's smart enough. She got all us talking about her.
Well, Miss LRG, let's just talk about what you just said about what she stated in the book that are supposed lies that the legal team would have stopped. Right. Okay. When she talked about Cordell, she doesn't go into specifics because she said because of legal reasons, I can't. So she alluded to something. She doesn't come out and say that he did anything, but she says enough for people to draw their own conclusions. Now with the singer guy, he ain't got 2 more cents. He's not going to be able. She waited until he underneath the jailhouse. Who and how is he going to send anybody to stop her from saying anything at this point?
But she never said he did nothing to her either.
Well, when she said that, okay, go ahead, make it make sense.
she alluded to it. See, that's what she do. She
alluded. Exactly. That's what the whole book is. Illusions. And she sits there and says she felt victimized. She felt this, she felt that because of these different situations, but she don't tell you exactly what happened in the situation. So no one can come out and say, well, I didn't do this, that, and the third, but you leaving people's minds to wonder. That's dirty. That's low down and dirty.
Really quickly, you guys, we have like over 400 people in the chat, but I only have 240 likes. Please hit the like button because that puts me in the algorithm, and I need to be in the algorithm. And we have Miss Ann. Miss Ann, did you have something to add?
Yes. Only one thing. We're looking at her pattern of behavior here. You're saying these are serious allegations, but we saw her in season 9 bring serious allegations against her classmate, a whole bunch of lies that she heard from someone. So how can we verify that what she's saying is the truth and just have believe in her when we know her to bring serious allegations that could ruin somebody's life that she knew was a lie on TV?
She repeated a rumor that she heard from what she felt like was a valid source. And she ran
with it. She ran with it.
The same way Tasha K is having to deal with her repercussions.
But you know, I think that she said that.
That's like, but see what I'm saying is, see how there's a lawsuit involved because that person felt so lied on that they took it that they
that person was lied on because Tasha K admitted that she lied.
Well, that part too. So I'm just saying, like, and you just said her book is full of implications. So she doesn't even technically lie that we all out here like she's lying this, she's lying that.
I think she's a known liar. Now, LRG,
yes, thank you.
With bad character. With bad character.
That whole thing from Phaedra, I feel like Phaedra started it. That was freaking frack. She felt like she heard something from her best friend in confidence, and she repeated that.
She's dumb,
you think
but
that her and frack plotted and made that up? And I heard they heard that from a producer.
Carlos,
no, that was a lie. Carlos came out and said he had nothing to do with that. Because they said they heard it from Carlos King, but he came out and denied all those allegations because they were saying that's why he was fired, but he was never fired from Bravo. He quit to go start his own production company. You see him doing all these other productions all over the place now, right? But like what I'm saying is like you would bring those serious allegations, rumors, lies. Like I don't think you're that stupid to be bringing allegations that you hear from one person against your friends. Because Candy has done so much for Porsha throughout all these seasons. She was the one who got her back on having jobs right after Cardell kicked her out. Candy ruled for her. Candy supported her with everything. And someone said this one thing to you, and you're going to believe that's the truth. And also, when Candy showed her text messages that she sent about her being the aggressor towards Candy and Todd at the party.
Right.
So
I think it was a couple of things. I think it was one, I think she was offended that Candy was not interested. And I also think it was her doing her dumb blonde act.
Candy was not interested in letting her.
I believe that.
Kelly,
You know,
just to clarify, you're saying that Candy was not interested in letting Porsha eat her till she came? Like Porsha
it
requested?
didn't sound like she was.
Exactly. She said she get aggressive. She get aggressive, and then she turn into the victim when she don't get her way. And that's classic Porsha.
And I feel like with that whole conversation, as far as that did go, that she said those damaging things about Candy. In that same conversation, she said that Todd uses an alias in New York. And but nobody was talking about that. They just want to talk about that you want to take me to your D and give me some roofies or whatever. I don't know. It's just too much. It's too much. And I feel like people, even still, like, she repeated something. Her and Phaedra said the same thing. And they both got in trouble for it.
Okay, Miss LRD.
Really quickly. Kadi, did you have something to add? Welcome to the chat.
Well, this was good. Hey, I'm back.
What were you saying, Miss Ann?
I was just saying,
I was just about to ask Miss LRG. I was going to tell you two more things. These are little things that she said. If you just listen to Porsha talk, every 2 minutes another lie is coming out of her mouth. Whether they big lies or small lies, they add up. When she was sitting at the table when she met her cousin Lottie at the restaurant, she did a whole bunch of lying. When Lottie told her, well, Dennis said you told him to fire me, she gonna say, I don't remember that. Really? You don't remember that? That's a lie. We all know she remembered that. Also, when Lottie asked her, it told her she didn't feel as though she was taken up for her. She was only taken up for Storm. She's going to tell her the only reason she did that was because Storm was sitting closer to her in proximity. Come on now. Come on. She just does anything to get out of immediate quote unquote trouble or looking bad, as we can see. It's all about image and perception to her. So whatever she has to say in that moment to redirect it to be like, oh, you just like, oh, then in that same conversation, she gets up, blacks out with the producers, and then when Lottie's crying and she comes back to the table, she's like, oh, I'm not mad at you. Really? Because you really just sounded a whole bunch mad when you was back there talking to the producers, telling them how you're not going to do this and you're not going to take that.
Right. You know, like you're dealing with another personality. Like, really?
Exactly.
That's
it's like she acts split person. She looks. Exactly. She acts like she's bipolar, but she switches so frequently it wouldn't even be bipolar. She's just a pathological liar. She doesn't know the lie from a truth. She just talks to be talking.
I mean, yeah, she lies about little things.
I don't know. I don't know. I just feel I don't.
You know what? But
like I feel like I feel like Kenya is more of a liar than Porsha.
Everything Kenya said has turned out to be truth, though.
I feel like Kenya,
I mean, I don't care for
isn't
Kenya,
divorced all the way yet because you can't be divorced.
Wait, the church bells are ringing because we don't know what's going on with LRG.
Right? What the hell?
No, you know,
apologies. I'm at work in school. Sorry, those school bells.
There's a lot of team swirl in the chat, LRG.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I started.
Well, yeah, the marriage, I do kind of wonder.
Popular opinion, and I'm fine with it.
And I appreciate your opinion because even though I'm not the biggest Porsha fan, there are Porsha fans, right? She
Yeah.
had 600,
I like Porsha in
700,000
the show.
people.
I say that all the time. She can't hang with me in real life though, but I like
Hell
her in the show.
no.
Because you have a husband.
No. If I got to go to the bathroom and Porsche at the table, my man going to the bathroom with me.
And LRG, I just want to say I respect you for stating your opinion because literally last week I was on somebody else's channel and somebody else's panel, and I took an unpopular opinion and was taken up for Nene and got laughed off the channel, but it was okay.
Oh my gosh.
It was
I would have
fine.
been there
I like
supporting you
Nene
about
too.
Nene.
We
I would
don't
have
do
been
that
there
over
supporting you
here.
about Nene. I feel like Nene
Not on
is
this channel. We
not
don't
getting
do
enough
that.
support.
It was
If that
still
was your
fun.
point.
I like Nene too.
Right. Because, well, LR,
Yeah.
Kenya coming from trauma and Portia coming from trauma.
Exactly.
The difference is Kenya is willing to get some help for her trauma and Portia not.
When did
Let's
Kenya
be
get help for her
realistic.
trauma?
We are
I don't know about nothing about Kenya getting help.
When did Kenya
But,
get help for her trauma?
Kenya said
well,
she was working, even though she don't have a relationship with her mother is reaching out to have a relationship with Brooklyn.
yeah, that's true. Remember, her mother disowned
Oh,
her,
I thought you
and
meant working on
Well,
like
but
as
that
in
I
getting
said that's
professional
not
help
her
to
getting
address.
help for her trauma. That's just her mama
Yeah, that's
trying
not.
to be close to her daughter. That's my
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I know that she's getting help for her stuff, but I personally feel like Kenya isn't divorced yet because you can't divorce what you're not married. Like, where's the marriage certificate in the
I
first place?
suspect as well.
If you
I'm
would
not
have
gonna
just showed
lie.
us a
I
marriage
do.
certificate that looked a little valid, then we might believe that you were getting divorced. Like, I'm way more on that lie than anything Portia's ever lied about or exaggerated upon.
Oh,
Now
you
LRG,
can't
now
compare that.
LRG,
That's like apples to oranges. Come
now
on
hold
now.
on.
and
I'm not
This is
gonna
what we-
agree
Really?
on that one. I do think this Mark situation is real weird and shady, and I don't believe.
You know what I think?
I think
I
Kenya's
think-
having a lot of non-believable relationships.
Yeah. I think they.
Wait, we're
I
talking
think
about Kenya? When we know that Portia had Todd, where we know that Portia was sleeping with married men, where you
Well,
know
yeah,
that
Todd-
we're not gonna do.
But
We're
those
not
were
gonna do
Yeah.
Kenya.
believable. What I'm saying is Kenya had a lot of non-believable relationships.
Why is that believable? I think I'm not a Kenya fan or any. I'm not a fan of
Portia
any
had
of the
Todd
things,
like Candy's
but
Todd?
No,
No,
it was
Portia
another
the
man
baby
Kenya's a
named
beautiful
Todd.
woman.
No,
We
that
found
goofy
out-
looking one that went to Hawaii with them. His
We
name
found out that
Todd.
was fake. The Latin dude that she was dating in Miami.
Oh, the one that didn't have a job, the one that ended up losing his job.
We found out that
That
wasn't
did
real.
never
We
happen.
knew somebody that actually knows Todd, and that was a lie, and that Portia allowed that lie to go on because it helped her storyline. She had promised this man a free trip to Hawaii and ended up like completely throwing him under the bus for her storyline. The football player, right? Thank you, Lonnie Mitchell. That was a lie too. We now know that he's into trans women, not into Portia at all.
And he was a
Yuki
kid. Wasn't he like 21 or something?
Oh my goodness.
Can I just ask a question? Because I'm a little confused. When did becoming a victim of trauma make it excusable for you to act an ass? Because I didn't realize, I mean, as a Black person in America, aren't we all traumatized by turning on the TV from day to day and this, that, and the third? Like, who's not traumatized? But we still have to get up every day and be civil and act accordingly, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so she don't get no pass for her trauma.
Yeah, I was just about to say we're not giving Portia no pass.
And she has the resources to go
I'm
get professional
traumatized
help.
too.
Like,
Right. Because
We have
her
resources.
insinuating that she was in domestic violence.
Yeah,
Her
but we all have
insinuating that she was
something.
in an abusive relationship. It cheapens the ones who was going through it on a daily basis.
And she's
You
not
know-
the only one that didn't grow up with a father in the home. Like,
Right.
find me a river and lose the violin. Not to say
Right.
these aren't serious situations, but these are situations you learn to cope with, especially by the time you're 40 years old. And then this is the topper. If you haven't, it's okay. We all can sing you can get better every day. But what you don't do is midway through write a book as though you're helping other women. That to me is hilarious. Don't write me a guide on how to get my life together when your life is in shambles. Like, miss me with all of that.
Right.
Yeah. And
Well,
the
her
fact
book
that
isn't like, I don't know. She could even write another. If she writes another book, will you guys be happy?
If she tell the truth and do a
Well,
complete
I
soul
mean, but
searching,
she's telling enough of a truth to not get sued. So what
that's
truth
not
is?
telling the truth. That's half of a lie. Come on now, baby, please don't go there.
Well, guys, this is the
Well,
thing
let's
about
not
this
excuse the
supposed.
fact that people who are actually victims, everybody doesn't come forward, whether
Right.
they are known liars or not. Some people never ever come forward. So just because Porsha is a known liar does not negate if something did happen to her.
Thank you. That's all.
yeah.
But when you listen to the stories that she's telling about what supposedly happened to her, it does not make sense. That's why we don't believe it. Well, at least that's why I don't believe it.
Exactly.
I believe everything she says that happened with
These
her and
stories
Cordell
don't add
happened.
up.
Right.
Exactly.
I
Oh
believe
Lord,
she searched some of her
somebody
traumas,
even
but I don't
called
negate her trauma from the stuff she does today.
Goofy, and Prosperity Thick Girl has popped back up. So I don't know who she's about to call. What's up, Prosperity?
Don't go too bad at my girl Laga. She just a Porsha girl. Me and her go through this all the time. We go through this all the
love
time.
Prosperity. Hi, Prosperity.
Hey, babe. But how can you have trauma in your life from not having your father in your house, but then turn around and do the same thing, and we're supposed to have sympathy for you?
Amen. Thank you.
Well, she didn't do it.
That's what she
Dennis
needs.
did
That's
that.
the big thing.
Dennis's actions
One at a
caused
time.
Literally a
him.
generational curse.
We gotta do
Dennis's
one at a
actions caused
repeating the
him to
cycle.
break
We
that
gotta speak
family
one at a
up.
time.
Had
Something
Dennis
that's
not
new.
did what he did, perhaps Porsha wouldn't have been triggered. And I really think, like a
Laga.
lot of her stuff that was at that place could have been like, maybe she did want to have her family with Dennis, and maybe having him there with all the family and the lady in the other room that he invited, maybe it was a little of a trigger for her, and she was like, I shouldn't even have to be going through all this shit, Dennis, because had you not
Laga.
Laga.
No, we not. You already know how I feel about that.
But you got that whole man Simon sitting next to you. Make that
Exactly.
make sense, Laga. Make that make sense.
And how
baby.
do we
She
even
needed
know?
somebody
Dennis
to
probably
hold
didn't
her
even
back.
know they was in a relationship, because we barely knew they were in a relationship. Child, they were together 15 minutes before the girl got pregnant. So she get what she got, what she get. You can't sit there and get pregnant from a man 15 minutes later and tell us we're in a relationship. We doing this and he cheated on me while pregnant. Shit, he wasn't even out of the last relationship when y'all got in this relationship. Y'all was together 15 minutes, but because he had a car, he had a house, he had his own business, your legs kept opening and he kept going up in there. That's your fault. Don't say that man cheated on you. No, he still had side chicks that he wasn't done with when he got with you. So you got what you got. That man, that wasn't no damn relationship. That was a situationship, and you just tried to make it be what it was. Once you got pregnant and you wanted the fairy tale and he didn't give it to you, but just last Christmas you wanted the ring back. So you can't be over him too much. He can't be a deadbeat too much. He can't be all these bad things and need to be locked up in goddamn Mexico when you love Black lives and that's your child's father. So when you are born without a man in your house, you should never ever want your child to be just like you. You told me your mama couldn't go past the threshold. Now look at Dennis. He don't want to go past the threshold. He like, is it a Mexican?
Well, maybe that's why she's trying to get Simon in there so bad. It's because maybe she
Storm in there with a bruise. He don't know what's going on. She's wrong court, and she threatened him to go to court. But then he actually said, no, let's go to court, because that calendar that you talk about, you can erase those dates. Oh, I didn't know you were coming. Oh, she has a party to go to. Oh, we were going out of town.
Exactly.
Dennis is doing what he needs to do to protect his parental rights, and he's being a good father. What father dropped $500 on toys for a child that didn't even
Thank you.
plan with the toys?
Exactly.
Dennis, I think I haven't.
Not a good.
Dennis
No.
is not be a good dad.
Dennis and Porsha were fuck partners. Come on now, let's make it simple. Make it simple as hell. Okay? He saw her Oh, that's a he saw that butt. He said, oh yes, yes, yes.
He saw her butt and she saw his pockets.
As
They
long
both
as you
used the
giving it up,
spirit
a
of
man is
lust
gonna
to make
take
a
it.
baby.
And Porsche was giving it up without having a relationship, and PJ was
without a
a
condom.
product of that. They
So are you
wasn't in a
saying
relationship.
are you saying they made a lust baby?
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you
Yep.
No, yeah.
But hey
Is
guys,
that
They made a
that's
same thing that
together.
we're gonna
Kenya
have
did
to
when she made a baby with a man who didn't want her either?
we're gonna have to do like one at a
exactly,
time.
and that. But
Hold on,
everybody goes on
hold on,
Kenya talking
prosperity.
about Kenya had a baby, all that.
Hold on, 1 minute, prosperity. Sorry to mute you. So what's happening is we kind of started talking over each other, and we're gonna need to go ahead and end this live. So I'm gonna let everybody, starting with Callie, then Bernice, LRG, Prosperity, Kadi, Ann, and Autumn, give like a quick final thought, and we're gonna reconvene tomorrow. Sorry to mute you, Prosperity. Sorry to mute you. But Callie, could you go ahead and give your final thoughts?
Oh no, I was just gonna say if Portia really wanted a family that was together so badly, she wouldn't have had a baby with a man she just met. They were not married. They didn't have a long, stable relationship. So there is no way that she should have had a reason to feel that they were gonna have this fairy tale family. She's full of crap.
Okay, Miss Bernice.
She didn't wait the 90-day rule. Come on now.
Yeah,
They
the
was
90
together.
days rules work, you guys. The
Works.
90-day
You
rule
know, you
works.
get to know that person to see if they're potential. She didn't wait that. She waited the week rule. Okay. I'm gonna get my groove on to see how it's gonna be. Ooh, he good. He can lay it down good. Like, oh yeah, that's my husband. No, boo. No, that's your baby daddy.
No, she didn't. She waited
LRG.
90 seconds, 90 minutes.
I
LRG.
totally feel like this has been a fabulous conversation. My final thoughts are that Porsha, until it's proven that the whatever her traumas are that she mentioned specifically in chapter 7 are proven to be otherwise, I feel like she needs to have some compassion. And overall, I feel like when Black women are experiencing and speaking and having the courage to speak up about trauma, overall, we need to like put hearts in our ears so that we can accept what they're saying as a possibility of truth so that we can begin to help them heal. That's my point.
I definitely agree. I totally believe the victims. Miss Prosperity, thick girl.
When you putting trauma on other women by stealing their husbands, it's hard to put our hearts in our ears and believe anything that you say. But please go to my girl log a page. She a Porsche
Oh, you
fan,
rock,
but
Prosperity.
she got a
Thank you.
good heart. She's a good person. That's my girl. That's my sis. Just show her some love. Especially go to the her unboxing video of my wine glasses that I made for her. Nice.
Oh, yeah,
Get you
they're
some.
beautiful, you guys.
But thank you, Mints. Thank you, Mints, for letting me on. But as I always say, Portia was wrong for doing what she did to that child and his father. I don't care what you go through with a man. I don't care about none of that other stuff. A relationship with the child and the father, especially a daughter, should be protected at all costs. You see what you went through, the trauma you still say you going through. Don't inflict that pain on your child because the child doesn't deserve it. You got with that man 1 minute and was in the bed with that man the next. Now deal with the consequences of what you did. It was good at that time. Let that relationship between that father and that child be good for the rest of her life. Because I swear, a relationship between a father and daughter is the best thing ever. I love the relationship with my daughter and her father have. She's 24 and she's still a daddy's girl. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Exactly. Amen to that.
Cardi B.
Oh shoot! Sorry.
How you gonna pop up when it's your turn?
Look, I just took a call and didn't even know what was my fault. Let me see. What were my final thoughts? I like Porsha on the show. She can't roll with me though, because I don't roll with people like her. I think Porsha is in love with Dennis for real. I think she is, but she is in love with the bag more, which is why she after Simon and is throwing Dennis under the bus. And I think Porsha's book was written by a 5-year-old. So I don't know. I don't have anything else.
Ms. Ann?
Oh, I can't wait to see season 14 or 15 of RHOA come back. But Porsha, I would believe Porsha more if she didn't keep repeating offensive and keep calling herself in a lie and perpetuate stories to try and make herself look good by always throwing everybody else under the bus. She does it a lot. She throws Marlo under the bus, even though sometimes Marlo deserves it. She's throwing Dennis under the bus. For someone who wants to say she told her family to keep it a secret, but at the same time being on Instagram calling him all types of bad baby daddy and all this stuff, like it's not making sense. She'll say anything she needs to say at the moment to try to keep her to make herself look good. Doesn't matter who else gets caught in the crossfires, and I can't respect that. But I can respect her trauma and I can feel for her trauma if it's true.
Okay, that's fair. Miss Autumn's mom?
Well, I want to say this was a fun evening for me once again. Um, I believe Porsha is a trifling whore who's embarrassing. I think that this show and this book showed her for exactly who she is. I don't believe.
What the hell?
Wait.
Just said a whole word.
My bad.
You just
But
choked.
I'm saying it with my chest and I mean it. She made me mad. She made me mad because I was holding out hope because I thought it was going to be something different. And she ended up not just embarrassing herself. To me, she embarrassed a whole lot of other people, like just women in general. With that being said, yes, when somebody says that they're a victim, yes, I believe that everyone should be heard. And when you hear them out,
Yeah,
you are
Daddy.
supposed to listen with discernment. And from what you hear, you then can decide for yourself whether you want to believe them or not. But you do not have to believe everything that everyone says. Period. Thank you.
And she don't believe Porsha.
At all.
So guys, we're about to close out. I just want to say thank you again.
No, thank you. This was
I'm
awesome. Thanks.
I'm already at 2,100 subscribers. My channel is growing really fast. I really appreciate it. I try to help out as many people as possible. If you are a new person, and you want to get you want to get it out, you are definitely allowed to come up on my channel, state your piece, because people did it for me when I first started. So I'm always going to be the person to do it for other people. Doesn't matter. I can't say it enough. What is for you is for you. Promoting somebody else will not take anything away from you. I am going to start doing stuff outside of this. I already started with the Tasha K and Cardi B. I'm going to be moving on to a deep dive on Britney Spears. We're going to do some videos with just some crazy shit, because that's what I am. Just shit that people throw in my inbox, not the nudes. Please stop sending me those. My inbox has been a little crazy recently. But if you have stuff that you want to talk about on my channel, definitely DM me. My Instagram is Make It Make Sense Now. It's pretty funny if you don't ask me. It's stuff about my life, and everything else. Recently I shared that I lost one of my aunts. So the funeral is going to be Tuesday. So I'm not able to do my birthday party, but I will be doing my birthday party next week. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to tell everybody to get drunk. Who knows what's going to come out of my mouth?
I'm gonna make sure I have my Grey Goose. Okay.
Whatever you drink.
My condolences, baby.
Yeah, sorry for your loss.
I appreciate it. I decided that I'm going to start opening up a little bit more on YouTube. It's not always easy to open up, because sometimes people take that as a weakness and try to use it against you. But I'm going to start giving you guys a little bit more, and hopefully nobody, does that to me. I met somebody that I want to shout out. Her name is Infamous Sylvia. She has been down at that Tasha K court case every day taking notes, and she gives you play-by-plays unbiased. Check her out. She's also a woman of the Lord, and she talks about her connection to God all the time. Her light shines bright on YouTube. On that note, we are going to close out again saying happy birthday to Mama Diane, who turned 64 today.
Oh, happy birthday.
It's
Happy
always
birthday.
been about
Go,
the body.
girl.
She get it from her mama.
Thank you.
Okay,
Now
say
that
bye,
is true.
everybody.
Bye, y'all. Y'all be safe.
Bye.